fine.
That's why I forgot care. Tell me when you hit the button.
Oh, it's ready. We're going. It's on. So to recap last week's session, the barge exploded and the river was on fire. Bron and Brightleaf escaped downriver with the unconscious Duke, not Duke, they had Lord Earl, sorry. But they came onto land in Duke Lorgner's lands on the east side of the river, and they headed south. They questioned him for a moment, got some answers. Bron gave him a little bit of the gentle treatment, divested him of his goods, wrapped him in ropes, and for a very, very terrifying moment was almost discovered by some of Duke Lorgner's men who were searching for bodies or people fleeing after the explosion. Found Bron, but didn't manage to notice anything out of the ordinary with the body under the cloak. And any case, got off scot-free. So that was the east side of the river. On the west side of the river, the party managed to help rescue any and all survivors from the flaming wreckage in the river. They navigated the crowds that had gathered to watched as the fire on the eastern side of the river kind of burned through part of the Imperial lands. And one of the boats in the docks caught on fire. So all in all, pretty eventful of a night. Let's see. Reginald died. That was pretty wild. Then was revived.
Rest in peace, Reginald.
Yeah, not very long though. So Lucy, who is away from the party, is currently at the Temple of Light. So as dawn comes, she is still gone. Bron, you are with the Lord Earl, still in the woods. Brightleaf has departed just before dawn and is heading to the boat. And as Rhea and Leon and Yoga and Kleeck all come awake on the Coventress, you will see that the slightly wet and very tired-looking Brightleaf has climbed aboard and is greeting, I guess, whoever is on watch. Kleeck, you'd probably be woken up with a, "Hey, Kleeck!" And you'll see her probably at the top of the ladder up to the crow's nest, like poking you. Hey, I'm back. Bron and I are safe. He's not here though.
Oh, okay. That's really good. I'm gonna look down and around. Where is he?
He's to the southeast still. We kidnapped Duke or Lord Earl.
Kleeck's eyes go wide at that one.
And I think that some of us need to go across the river to help keep him captive and question him. He says he'll help us, but I don't want to leave Bron alone with him for too long. And you can fly. Can you go to him now, and I'll bring the rest of the group?
I can try and find him.
Okay, maybe stick with me, and then you can take the ring back and forth across.
All right.
So she'll head downstairs and go wake up everyone else, which at this point is going to be Rhea, Yoga, and Leon.
Is this after our 8-hour period?
This is after the 8-hour rest period. Everyone has rested at this point. You got a full night's sleep.
I will wake Ellie as well.
As you awaken, Kleeck, as you're outside, you'll notice that the area is still very, very active. There are people on the docks. It was kind of a loud night, a little difficult to get to sleep. The fire on the opposite side of the river, in the town, has been put out. Several buildings have collapsed. There's a number of people just kind of standing outside. There's a kind of a pall of smoke, a smoky haze, kind of hanging around the river and around the areas of town. It's kind of a dank morning as everyone comes to. So you have a little bit of that, the crowded pier, the slightly burnt boat, There's still some wreckage that has kind of gotten caught up along the piers or on different places along the river, slightly downriver. So at one point, farther downriver, there was a fire in Duke Lordner's land, and it was put out by his men. But yeah, for the most part, it is peaceful this morning, but very tense as the people of Sichuan, now unable to get to either side of the river, are nonetheless dealing with the aftermath. Some lives obviously lost in the explosion, possibly some lives lost in the fires, definitely some lives ruined in the offing. So, but yeah, you all come awake to Brightleaf and Kleeck coming downstairs saying, "Hey, it's Bron might need our help." If it's all right with you, I can just stay and protect the ship. I don't know where Lucy went, and when she comes back, maybe she isn't feeling well. I think I'm going to stay here, and watch the boat.
That bat did get hurt bad the other day, didn't it?
Yeah, I just kind of didn't expect her to disappear like that, without really a word at all. So, you guys can go help Bron, but I'm gonna stay here and make sure that if she comes back, she knows where we are and everything.
I'm looking at Brightleaf, and I'm going to ask her, is there anyone looking for you or Bron where you guys are at the moment?
She just shakes her head. I think anyone who would be looking for him is looking for a dead him.
Okay. Do we know, where did you say Bron was? Or
across the river to the southeast. I know where he is. I just left there, and if he's moved, I can find him. And she looks at you, Kleeck. I'm sure you could find him too. You're good at this.
I'll nod, but I'm a little distracted as well. Kleeck looks a little lost in his own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga's kind of like opened up his spell book. He's flipping through it, and I can create my phantom steed to carry me and someone else down to closer south of the river before we cross.
Can your steed cross the water, Yoga?
No, it cannot. And if I use the steed, then, well, I can take one of you, and Kleeck can fly, but someone else would have to. I can't fit 3 people on a steed.
Brightleaf shrugs. I'm fast.
I kind of raise an eyebrow and say, can you keep up with the horse?
Maybe not. But I'm faster than you, and I'm faster than Leon.
Alright, we can do that. Anything else we need to know before we depart? Actually, Yoga's gonna start ritual casting the Phantom Steed.
Brightleaf is going to take off the Ring of Water Walking and flick it to Leon and say, if you get there first, go first.
Okay, I guess I'll make my way forward then.
Send it back across with Kleeck, and we'll do what we did before, and this is going to have to be how we do it since the fairy's gone.
Maybe you and Kleeck can get a head start while I cast the spell. We'll catch up quite easily.
Not a bad idea. Kleeck? And then she kind of just heads back up the staircase back to the top of the deck, and
Kleeck will jump in a little bit as his name is mentioned. He wasn't paying much attention, but he will quickly follow her up.
All right. So she's kind of just going to hop the railing and dash across the river and take off the ring, and if and when you approach, hand it to you, and then just head overland in the direction of where. Well, she'll kind of walk along the river and wait for y'all.
I'll just stay with her.
It'd
Okay.
take Yoga 10 minutes to ritual cast,
Yep,
and
that's
then
fine.
we'd catch it because it's not even like a normal steed. I think. I mean,
I think you get to flavor it in a couple different ways.
yeah, but like the speed, it's 100 feet.
Oh dang! Yeah, no, she can't keep up with that. She is 35% of that without dashing. So yeah, 10 miles
I
in
guess
an hour.
Is it too late to like tell her like just full sprint? Don't wait for us. Or is she already
It's
gone?
fine. It's fine. She's if you just zip there, then she can always hand the ring to Kleeck anyways to fly back across, and Kleeck can go 100 feet per round if he's flying and dash flying. So she'll hand it to Kleeck, and then she'll see after the 10 minutes of just heading in that direction. I'll actually get where she is. Yoga's on this side. Leon's on this side. Kleeck
Out of
is.
characters, is there anything else we need to do? Just.
I mean, that's up to you.
Oh
but...
no, I'm talking to Leon and Kleeck.
Mm.
I mean, if not, then 10 minutes ritual cast, and then however long it'd take me and Leon to get to this point from here to here.
Gotcha. It'll take not very long at all. That's not 13 miles, moving at a fast pace. It doesn't take that long at all. So you get down there. Kleeck, for your part, since you're flying above, you and Brightleaf are moving kind of quickly over land. But up above, I'm not even going to have you roll a perception check. I'm just going to say, since you're keeping an eye on them, you're going to see just moving at a super fast, like this is the fastest you could fly, is how fast they're moving on this horse, just like a bullet overland south. And you're like, well, I have the ring. Brightleaf's like, go to them, they'll need the ring. I'll follow on this side of the river.
I'll do my best to catch up.
Yeah, so you're able to barely keep pace, and when they come to a stop, you are able to catch up to them. Brightleaf is still a little bit behind on her side of the river, but eventually, whoever you give the ring to first, as you're crossing, she can probably catch up and cross over too. Who wants to go first, Yoga or Leon?
I'm gonna opt for one of them to go first.
Well, Kleeck can fly, and Leon's the only person who needs it other than you.
Yeah. I'll start walking.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check while this is happening?
Go right ahead. Anything in particular that you're looking for?
I'm just looking for passerbys and anybody outside of a commoner.
You maybe see some commoners here or there. Like, there are definitely people watching the river. There's some people here and there going over, like kind of wrecked pieces of barge. Whether you choose to cross next to them or go a little bit farther away from them doesn't really matter. They don't mind seeing you. Like, for instance, Leon, as you start to cross, one of those people, maybe like 70, 80 feet upriver, kind of poking at a piece of barge, will see you and then just go back to like kind of watch you for a moment as you're walking across the water. You can see there's like a little bit of curiosity and interest, but they just go back to what they're doing. They assume you're probably some sort of person looking through the water for dead bodies or wreckage like they're doing. So, there's a lot of people interested in what happened last night and checking out the stuff today, and the river. There's a lot of people and a lot of eyes on the river, so you'll probably be noticed crossing it, but it might not be that big a deal. Or it might. You're not exactly sneaking right now.
Yes,
and
my
yeah,
favorite
basically, yes, you're being noticed a little bit, but not by like everyone in the middle of town. You're on the outskirts. So Brightleaf booked it across in the middle of open daylight, and again, people noticed but didn't really take much mind.
It was not doing anything suspicious. Just
well, I would say people
casually.
Also noticed the Aarakocra flying along at high speed, while on the opposite side of the river, a turtle and a dude with a plague doctor's mask were riding on a spectral steed that looks kind of like a horse going, and both of them are just going 100 miles an hour on either side of the river. That was noticed too.
With my perception check, do I notice if more of these people are like a landless, or if they're people that maybe in, I don't know how to say this name.
Imrabo?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see what looks to be some of the same kind of woodsman-looking folk that are probably Lordner people. The folks in the Imrabo livery, it's a very clear, like, predominantly black with red and white accents sort of garb, and it looks like everyone from those lands is pretty heavily invested in those colors. So you can tell who's who, but none of them appear to be going through the stuff, but they are watching from the shores. But yeah, lots of just commoners, townsfolk. You see a couple, like, and this is just in general, as you head that direction, you see a couple nobles with like their entourages and groups of followers and servants kind of picking through the wreckage. The amount of soot staining on people kind of speaks to how affected or heroic they were last night. So you see some folks who appear to have been in the fire and flames and passed through that to a certain extent. So there's quite a selection of people. But as you head south, there's fewer and fewer of them because most of the devastation is up where the ferry exploded. So you get further away from it, and Leon, you're able to cross the river first. Brightleaf's waiting for you on the other side. Kleeck, I'm guessing you ferry the ring back to Yoga there?
Mm-hmm.
Back to Yoga.
I will cross with no hesitation.
All right. And so you are now all on the same side of the river, and Brightleaf is going to lead you south through the Duke Lorgner lands, kind of along the river, and she's going to say, we should try and be stealthy here, and ask you all to sneak with her. So she's going to roll stealth.
I'm going to ask, actually, if she feels like she has enough resources to cast that shadow spell.
She does not. She hasn't. Did she, Bron, did she rest? I don't think she rested. You may be muted.
I mean, Yoga doesn't know, but I don't think so, but we'll see if Bron answers.
I'm very sorry, excuse me?
No, I think
No, you're fine. I was asking, do you remember if Brightleaf rested? I don't think she did.
I think she just immediately left. I don't know if there was a rest for her, no.
Yeah, I don't think she rested either. So let me do a... Isn't it just you take a point of exhaustion if you don't sleep all night, or is it a con save for it?
It's a con save.
Okay.
I think it's funny because it's not even like a scale and con save. So if you're lucky enough, you could technically never go to sleep and never get exhausted.
Well, she passed the con save to not be exhausted, and she rolled a 25 for stealth. So everyone, please roll a stealth check as Brightleaf leads you in the direction of Bron, and you try and sneak through Lorgner lands. So yeah, that'll be Leon, Kleeck, and Yoga. Kleecky pretty sneaky.
I'm asking if one of them has a bag on them.
A bag?
Yeah.
Like what kind of bag?
Something that you can put. What's 410 divided by 8?
divided by what now?
410 divided by 8?
Something they can put a 51-pound yoga in.
Yeah.
51 and a little bit.
Yeah.
51 plus 2 pounds.
That's the number.
Well,
I don't trust my ability to stealth. Kleeck, if Kleeck has inventories, if he can carry...
To be honest, Brightleaf could probably... Well, no, her strength is pretty low. She probably couldn't carry you. Everyone's strength is low in this group.
We got all the Dex nerds.
Do I need to roll stealth, or is
nerd.
anyone else offering to carry a 50-pound yoga?
You gotta roll stealth.
Kleeck couldn't if he wanted to.
Alright, Leon, no?
You're asking to carry yoga?
He's if I make myself small, will you carry me? I can't walk quietly.
I mean, I can carry a 51-pound yoga.
Yeah,
Like, how small
yeah.
are we talking?
I could
51 pounds.
carry him. I could
And-
fly
Yeah, I
with him.
can do that.
okay, that's what I was asking. You
Please
that
take
doesn't
take
show
the
the
small
spell.
one.
So you're just making yourself smaller.
Yes, I'd be 51 pounds, and I would be, I believe, if I'm I'm around 6 foot. I'd have to actually go to my character sheet, but I believe I'd half in size, so I'd be like 3 feet.
You're still as big as Kleeck.
Kleeck
Like-
is 3'8".
And okay, and it says you're down to 1/8 your weight.
Yes.
Weight is reduced to 1/8. Okay, so yeah, you're half the size, but 1/8 the weight. So you're 50 pounds now, but you're still as big as Kleeck. So it's kind of like carrying a beach ball, Kleeck. Like it's big, it's unwieldy, but it's
Just not
manageable. It's just not heavy. So that's that's the thing right there.
Well, I gotta try tiny yoga vice. Don't you go dropping me now, Kleeck?
So I'll go ahead and say fine. You don't have to roll
well-
stealth because you're being carried, but I'm gonna say Kleeck, because of the unwieldiness of yoga, please roll with disadvantage. So roll again.
Still
Disadvantage
preferable. He's
stealth?
got a +5.
It's fair. So a 20. Oh, well, I guess we'll take the natural one. So it's the 6 against the 20. So because
I don't like this one.
because yoga, and even at this small size, is very
Yeah, but you're going
like
to-
circular, and the shell is a weird shape, and you're trying to hold him and also fly. And he's just really not it's not working too well. Leon, you and Brightleaf are like darting from shadow to shadow and like barely making a sound, and Kleeck flutter, flutter, flutter into a tree, flutter, flutter, flutter into another tree, and pretty soon you can hear voices raised in the distance, and it seems like maybe you have attracted some attention from maybe some of the woodsmen nearby. So there's a couple things you can do here. Brightleaf's going to say we should move quickly now instead of letting them find us. So she's going to actually be like, toss me yoga.
I will toss Yoga to Brightleaf.
I'm going to have her roll a dex check to see if she catches you.
Yoga the beach ball. Hey.
My eyes are darting. Like, I'm gonna say I'm probably about to protest, but I probably don't get it out before I get tossed.
You're now in midair, and she catches you and tucks you under an arm and begins sprinting and says, follow me. And please, everyone, roll an athletics check for me.
Am I included in this or no?
No, not you, because you're being carried. She just rolled a natural 20 with no modifier, so she grabbed Yoga, tucked him, and ran. Oh my goodness, and they are very fast at catching up. Leon, what are you gonna roll?
I'm faster.
Yeah, you're faster.
Leon, bring up the average, please, God.
What are these rolls? These woodsmen are insane. They roll so many 20s.
What the fuck is this?
All right, Leon, roll athletics as you sprint away from the guards, the Duke Lorgner's woodsman.
Whoosh.
Okay,
Oh, no.
so a 20, a 23, and a 13 average out to less than a 22. So the Duke Lorgner's woodsmen, 2 of them, are going to catch up to you as you're sprinting through the woods. And one of them's going to kind of come around from out of a tree in front of you, and he's going to have his short bow kind of like with an arrow knocked, but pointed at the ground, not drawn, but just knocked. And another one's going to kind of bust out of the woods behind you, just as the first one pulls up in front of you, and they're like, "Hold up now. We don't mean you any harm, but you are trespassing on Duke Lorgner lands. Now, what are you doing with that turtle there?" And Brightleaf is going to kind of like take you out from under her arm and kind of put you gently on the ground and be like, "He's fine with it. Everyone's fine.
I kind of wave. Hello.
Kleeck
All
probably
right.
skidded in the air, if you get what I mean, a good few
Yeah.
feet before he came to a stop. He
No.
was fucking going.
Nothing funny now, but hey, wait. Weren't you speaking with Duke Lorgner the other day? He says to the yoga as you're small now. You were a bit bigger then, weren't you?
I have a terrible choice to make.
Oh, you know we're not supposed to let no one trespass on our lands. Yeah, but he was speaking with the Duke. I don't trust him. He's tiny and a turtle.
I'm gonna look confused and I say, "Oh, you're probably talking about my dad." This is such a terrible idea.
Okay. Roll deception with advantage because you're small. Like that's pretty. Ooh. Okay.
God damn.
Oh, well, there you go. Your dad? You wait, but you look just like him. Your shell's all. Well, how would you know, Gerald? Have you ever seen a turtle before? Once or twice.
I mean,
Anyways, you're not allowed on Duke Lorgner land without a writ, and I mean, I know you spoke with him, but do you have such? Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, and we can escort you back to Imrabo or to the Landless, but tain't nothing else south.
well, we're looking into a lead on the series of murders around around the city, and we had a contact that was supposed to meet us north of here, but he wasn't at the agreed meeting spot, and we're concerned that he may be hidden in this area, alive or otherwise.
You say you're looking for an informant on our lands, then? Roll persuasion.
24.
Ooh, damn. Damn, that's almost a nat 20 right there. Well done. He kind of like strokes his chin. You know, he's got a little bit of a like a stubbly beard, and you can hear the bristles like kind of like as he scratches it a little bit. All right, I think I see what you're doing here. He looks down at Yoga and says, "Well, next time I see your father," and he kind of like is like doing the wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing. I'll make sure to let him know that his son was doing some great work out here on behalf of Duke Lorgner. Kind of does a little knuckle to the forehead, kind of like not a salute, but like a yeah, and kind of nods to the other guy, and he's like, "Let's go." He's like, "Gerald, you just gonna let?" Yeah. There's more of us out here. You get up to anything stupid, don't expect that we'll bail you out, but you're fine for now. And they kind of just. The other guy looks a little aghast, but slowly follows what appears to be the more senior of the two, and they leave you to it.
We'll look back at everybody. Okay, crisis averted for now.
I ask everyone, should I return to normal size?
Honestly, I think the baby roll could have worked, but let's keep you small for right now.
Yoga looks highly embarrassed by that, by the way that he got caught out lying. And that maybe even more embarrassed that he tried to lie in the first place.
I mean, that was pretty funny to me.
Oh no, it's hilarious, but
Yoga's not a top liar, so when he gets up to it, it's like, what are you doing, kid? What are you doing?
Lying to the professionals.
Yeah, leave the line to the professionals. So, what happens next?
So it's
You're probably maybe about this point now. Brightleaf just says, well, let's keep going, and continues to lead to the southeast.
How
Now we
long
will.
is this? Because enlarge reduce only lasts an hour.
You can probably get there in the hour since you're going to be hoofing it. Well, it'll probably end around the time you get to Bron after that little hiccup. Bron, for your part, the Duke, or not the Duke, again, I keep saying that, Lord Earl is just sitting there tied up, waiting with you in the morning, in the dawn light. Do you do anything in the intervening time, or are you just waiting for them to arrive?
I'll ask him about his rapier and his cloak, and I'll say there's definitely something magic about this.
Yes, the sword does a little lightning thing if you thumb the rune on the hilt there, and the cloak, it's pretty, but it'll also keep you safe. So
That's
I
a very
figure you'll
vague
be taking
description.
those.
We'll see. We'll see how good of an asset you are first. Tell me about this lightning effect this rapier has. What kind of lightning effect? Does it shoot lightning? Does it get coated in lightning?
More the latter.
Interesting. And about the cloak. Tell me more about the cloak.
It can be as supple and smooth as silk, or as hard and durable as steel. It really depends.
Interesting. And there's nothing special about the breastplate, is there?
Other than how much I paid for it.
I see. Just nod.
Before too much time, you hear the snap of a twig from nearby, which is actually Brightleaf making noise on purpose to let you know that someone's approaching. And a moment later, she comes around the tree that you're hidden behind, and kind of quickly surveys the scene, sees that the both of you are still there. Nothing has happened. I think you have a point of exhaustion, so you look tired.
Yeah.
But the rest of the party has arrived with her, minus Rhea, minus Lucy.
Are we back? Are we here?
You are now all together here in the woods south of Duke Lorgner's eastern lands. So
Has
you're
Yoga-
not even in Sichuan anymore. You're in the woods southeast of Sichuan.
If Yoga isn't already a normal size, I will prompt Brightleaf to let me go, and I'll.
You are now normal size.
Yep.
Right around the time that you arrived again, you got big again.
I'll see Brightleaf and then look at the Lord and be like, my friends are here, and then get up.
He looks nervously at the five of you. I'm actually going to drop his icon, his token as well, just so that we have it.
Oh, bro, me and Bren were talking about this after session. I'm pretty sure you never mentioned that you'd kidnap someone with the sending spell, right? So I shouldn't come into this pretending I know that.
I said I had the Lord.
Told us about the kidnapping.
Okay.
He said we're going to take a Lord. Be ready. That's I think exactly what he said.
Okay. I swear I knew you said be ready, but okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Okay, but yeah, upon seeing Bron, I'm going to say, what information have you two gotten? What was the whole explosion?
Brightleaf, do you want to tell him about that?
She looks really, really embarrassed. Like instantly, her cheeks flush, and she says, I was supposed to make a distraction. I didn't know that it would explode.
Yoga's going to look at her calmly and say, I'm not worried about that at all. It's their fault for having whatever that material was on the ship to begin with. Kind of look at Earl and maybe look at Bron. Has he explained why that was on the ferry?
I think I remember him saying he had no idea what was on that ferry or what it was for.
I do have written in my notes that it was for the orcs, but obviously Yoga doesn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Did we get that far?
it's like he didn't know what it was, but it was for the orcs.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that all of this discussion is in character unless you explicitly state otherwise.
I would definitely like to tell everybody what the Lord has shared with me so far. However, I have failed to take notes.
That's what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, Brent, out of character, I wrote down that the explosives were for the orcs, but obviously Yoga doesn't know that. I just took notes because I was sure that Bron was going to reveal that.
Lord Earl did say to Bron that
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, you cut out, Bren.
Oh, sorry about that. Am I back now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was saying that Lord Earl did state to Bron that the stuff that was on board was for the orcs. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know why it was there. He didn't know, what all was going to happen. He just knows that it was for the orcs, and that's what was expressed and shared.
Okay, that was the only information that I had in my notes. Back to end character. Looking at Bron, I'm going to ask, well, is there anything else we need to know, or what are we going to do with him?
I'm still deciding that. He says he can be a valuable asset to us, an inside man in the politics around the city. He says he can help us with the mayor and the Answerm decision. And, even better, or even also, he can help me with that urban development project, which could potentially let everybody know that, my temple's around. And he said he can help me stop that.
You speak of an urban development project.
Yeah.
He's all tied up and, trying to look a little bit more regal by sitting up a little bit, and he's having trouble because he's, it's difficult to maneuver like this. I know all the heads of the development firms in Eastern Sichuan. I may be able to put you in touch with the right people for a steep discount. Should you have anything that you would like done in the city?
No, I want them to fuck off and stop working on the urban developments.
Oh. Then I'm sure that we could also arrange that as well.
Yes, I'm sure we can.
You spoke of the mayor, yes? He kind of glances at all of you a little sheepishly. You know that the election is in 2 days, right?
I'm quite aware.
Yes. So, going to help us, aren't you, Earl?
Of course he'll say that.
He's glancing from person to person and definitely studying your faces.
She's kind of quiet and it's like, you must have really impressed my colleague to have been kept alive this long, but I need more information.
I suppose your colleague has a penchant for killing everyone that he kidnaps?
Only people that aren't useful.
Well, then you should keep me alive for a long time yet. I'm less useful tied, but...
There's also one problem, and it's whether I trust you or not.
He
A man in
nods.
your position could say anything to stay alive.
Yes, and many men in my position can't say anything to stay alive. So, in some ways, what's the point in lying?
Well, I do have a personal matter you could help me with, and I suppose holding a little information for any of us is helpful in the way of information, isn't it?
He shrugs as a fully bound man can. I'm all ears.
Eve Rizan.
Haughty bitch. What about her?
We saw you and her trotting together the other day.
Oh,
What is
yes. She pays for my services from time to time to bring certain contraband items across and upriver, and typically it's a little difficult to afford somewheres in Sichuan, such as its guard captain valiantly defends its streets from all manner of pernicious substances. But I have a feeling you know this Everson on a somewhat more intimate level than just a
Could say that.
passersby.
You could say that. Yes. These substances. Does she keep them? I suppose she keeps them on her little plot of land, doesn't she?
Ooh, it's not a little plot of land anymore, though. She's been selling enough of it that she can most certainly afford that massive monstrosity of a mansion she resides in. And the upkeep for that staff. My goodness. You'd think half the city was elves. You spend any time in the Razan land.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So you think she keeps this contraband on what, hidden in her grand manor?
Oh, certainly, but I don't ask where. It's not for me to know. I wouldn't dream of taking that information from my clients. What they do once they get their things is up to them. You understand it's a profitable business, but not once you start to ask the wrong kinds of questions. Ask the wrong question of the wrong person, and you'll lose your tongue or your head. Or everything you own. And he kind of just goes dull a little bit as he glances at Brightleaf and Bron again.
Interesting. All right.
By the way, I will point out that you can insight whenever you want, and this will be the last warning I give about, unless I tell you when, you can also prompt your own insight checks on anyone for anything. So
As soon as he says, as soon as he says, he doesn't know, where, or that it's out of his hands, where it gets stored. I want to throw an insight check into that.
go right ahead.
Yeah, no, you.
21.
Ooh.
So he seems to be completely honest when he says that he doesn't know where people hide their shit. Oh, I don't know where they take the things that I give to them. They just once I know that she buys from me certain things. I don't know what she does with them. That was basically what he told you, and it seems he's being honest with that 21. You feel very confident that he's being honest.
Okay.
I like that Kleeck doesn't understand and is just kind of watching and listening.
Yeah. What kind of things does she get you to acquire for her?
Well, I've gotten her dream berries before. I've gotten her a number of alchemical components. Some other substances that I can only assume are some sort of magical powders or substances. Some of it I was told not to even ask what it was, but for the most part it's simple narcotics and otherwise base components.
Do I know what would I have to do to know what a dreamberry is?
Well,
You could be
I would
Igor.
roll. I would roll a medicine check, or a history check, or a nature check. Any of those, whichever you feel like is going to be best for you. With a history, you've heard of different berries in various like folklore and also just in local lore and growing up in Belforay, you've also heard of just there are different fruits out there that when ingested lead to altered states of consciousness, and there are different processes for bringing out those properties or enhancing or filtering or otherwise enhancing those properties. So dreamberries, it doesn't really ring a bell other than that it seems like it might be one of those perhaps I'm going to say perspective altering substances out there. But yes, Kleeck, you may remember the term dreamberries from a conversation. And Yoga, you may also remember the term dreamberries from when Aglor ate several of them on the Coventris and then had horrible nightmares on the deck for a few hours as you sailed back to Nueva
I'm trying to remember
Luzon.
if Yoga was...
Kleeck
Actually, I think Yoga
looks-
was told by Igor specifically about the dreamberries. I do remember that now.
He was like, don't eat those.
Yeah. Think I remember that talk.
Yep.
Because I knew Elor had the berries, but I couldn't remember if he talked to Yoga about it. But I remember specifically now that he did.
Iglor's gone now, Yoga. There's no use in talking about him.
Is that a character? I'm sorry I didn't say it.
That's why I meant what I said.
So the drugs, okay. Narcotics. Okay. Alright. She's scheduled to get another one of these shipments from you anytime soon?
Well, I'm usually not one to speak about clients. This is an extenuating circumstance, and yes, weekly. However, I have no idea how she'll be arranging that now. Probably sending one of her lap dogs across the river to doggy paddle there and back. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask her.
Do you know where she might be right about now?
If she's not out surveying the damage and wondering how she's going to get her next fix without a problem, then I would assume that she is on her lands once again.
Okay.
She leaves occasionally to visit Lummies and watch that dazzling blonde man sing and play the harp. I'm not sure. I caught his name, but looking at him annoys me. He's just very good at singing.
Very well. I'm gonna walk over and pat him on the head. And you said you wouldn't know anything. You know more than you think.
Level of hostility increased.
Let him. Alright. So I'll look around. Bron, what else? What else was it you wanted this guy for? You said something about the temples?
I don't know anything about the temple. This man doesn't look like he worships Saint Paul at all, but I can tell you, and he's looking, Bron, at you because you're the person who's punching him the most, that we had discussed helping with ousting the mayor. That is something I think I can help with. There are several of the lords here that are displeased with her rule, but most of them think that she is impossible to overcome. And that is, of course, the role of yours truly. That is why I think, and he's looking back and forth at you, and there's a little bit of desperation in his voice. That is why I think that I can help you with this. Brightleaf is going to roll insight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Insight?
Guidance.
First returns.
Go ahead and roll with guidance and insight then, Bron. Leon, you totally buy whatever he says. Sounds great.
Yeah. Ouch. Okay.
21.
Yeah, Bron with a 21, you can tell that there's quite a bit of earnestness in what he's saying.
Yuga's gonna speak up and
Quite a bit of earnestness indeed.
Yuga's gonna speak up and say, how much do you know about the election? Do you know of any speeches, any part of her speech that she has particularly planned? Any goals that she's gonna talk about that would maybe steed her side?
You don't know how elections go around here, do you?
Raise an eyebrow and say, no, explain it.
So, every 2 years, the head of each district, as apportioned by the amount of land they own and its value, gets to cast a vote on behalf of their district. So we usually just all head to the civic center and meet in the banquet hall and generally just toast to the victory of the mayor as she's reelected. Rarely is she ever running against anyone, and when she is, the person doesn't stay in town for very long after they lose. I don't know what's going to happen to Thorn. I don't know why she's doing this, so... But as the only challenger she has this year, I do think that I could get Haybrook and Moshena. I think I could get Invostro. I don't know what Immerbo's thinking. Lorgner hates her. Ugturk still has land. And with that, we should be able to get rid of her. Her stalwarts are here on the western side of the river. And those on the east, she has charged far too much to keep them happy.
And
Okay.
you go.
I have 2 questions. There isn't any sort of public statement about the mayors. You guys just vote without knowing about the candidates?
Oh, the candidates can only be one of the heads of district, so we all know each other quite well, and there usually is no need for any real campaigning as such. I've seen what they do for elections in other cities here in Aelin Miley, and my goodness, so disorganized and ridiculous and chaotic. This is much cleaner. You understand?
Yoga's kind of looking like he disagrees but doesn't say anything.
Progress must be protected and maintained. It's only through this work that the city has ever managed to grow as much as it has. It would still be just a little meadowed farmland hamlet. Sure, the food coming out of this place is amazing, but it's a hovel. Nothing other of value is here. And
Okay, before I roleplay this, what's the name of the second mayor? Maybe you have it typed out. I know
so
it's
so there's
Thorn
two people
something.
running for mayor. It is we have Helga Zindvelter. That is the incumbent. Mayor Z, as I call her. And then you have Thorn Gardenia. They are both gnomes, and both gnome women. So you have the gnomish woman Helga Zindfelder, and then the gnomish woman Thorn Gardenio.
Okay, so Rhea goes, kind of takes a deep breath and says, second question. Assuming that we manage to get Thorn Gardenio to win this election, how do we know she's going to make the decisions that we want?
He kind of smiles, and you can see his teeth, because it's a very toothy grin that he flashes you. You don't, but it won't be the current mayor. Isn't that all you care about? What do you want done? At this point, it's a choice between one or the other for the next 2 years.
I'm going to look at Bron and say, your informant doesn't seem very useful.
No, he seems
Brown.
so useless right now.
I'm only telling you what the laws are. At this point, there isn't time to change them, much as I'm sure the mayor would like to. Okay, go ahead and roll insight.
Guidance.
Is that guidance for me, or?
Yeah.
All right. Insight.
Damn.
Does that even matter with a nat one? I mean, I'll roll.
No, it matters. So you rolled a 10. So if the DC was 10, you'd still pass.
Oh right. I keep forgetting that's like not a major rule that a nat one is an auto fail on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think some DMs run it that way, and rule of cool, I will sometimes. If you get a nat 1, I'll make you drop the thing or something. It doesn't really matter. It's for flavor more than anything. But yeah, with that, he seems very earnest.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of back down and look at anyone else. He's kind of run out of questions.
Bron is just contemplating at this point. He's rubbing his beard. Just. I'm gonna walk up to the Earl and kind of stand him up.
Okay. He's kind of stood up, kind of pushed, leaning against the tree a little bit. Welcome back.
Good news, Earl. I'm letting you go. I pull out my dagger. And then I'm gonna stab him in the neck.
Whoa! Well, I was about to insight to see if that was coming.
Okay, so, yeah, before you do that, I'm going to have Kleeck roll his insight, because if you know what's coming, you might react, because that's what you were saying. I'm going to have him roll insight too, to see if he can read you. I guess roll deception real quick, because you're trying to mislead him with this.
I guess can I also add an insight check?
I mean, technically, I am letting him go.
No. You, yes, but not in the way that you mean. So it's fine. Ooh, that's well done. I'm gonna let you see this.
Stop, Bron. I'm having sleep ready if anything goes crazy and Earl starts to run.
So he was at 0 HP because he was very low and KO'd down to 0, and then you healed him, and then knee arrowed him back down to 0, and then he's been knocked out and revived a couple times, so he's still at 0. You just stabbed him in the neck. Any amount of damage is going to put him back into dying. He did not see it coming because his 15 is lower than your 18 to deceive. Yoga, you saw it coming. You absolutely were like, oh, Bron's gonna stab him. And so as the blade sinks into the Lord Earl's neck, there's a flash of shock in his eyes, and he coughs out some blood and then like kind of glances down at the blade sticking out of his neck and can't do anything as he's leaning up against the tree. And it's leaking out onto the blade. There's a little bit of that warm stickiness is now dripping onto your fingers as you're holding it there. Are you gonna do anything with that knife, or just hold it there until he starts, I guess, stops moving?
I'm just gonna pull it out really forcefully.
Okay, so he collapses to the ground and he is making death saves. I'm gonna say that he's already down 2 of them.
Kleeck
I mean, he's
reels
down
back.
1. He's down
Right.
1. So I'm just gonna roll one
Wait!
right now and see what anyone does. He's dying. He's dying. He's bleeding out. I guess he's okay somehow. He's dying. He's dying. He's bleeding out. Brightleaf's not going to do anything. She's just going to watch him bleeding on the ground, glance at Bron,
Kleeck's just kind of watching in horror.
going to start gathering up her things. He's dead.
Oh, he's really dead.
What's everyone's passive investigation?
Ah, that's
12.
a 13.
It's an
Okay.
investigation.
Oh, because I don't have it. I was like, why do I have such a small
Mine's
investigation as a wizard?
14.
Okay. I was
I
just
don't
curious.
know. I don't know how to calculate that, and it doesn't put up on the sheet.
It's whatever your investigation modifier is, plus
Yeah.
10.
11.
Okay, yeah. Nope.
I'm used to having investigation as like my proficiency. I was like 13. Like, oh,
Yep.
right.
Yep. So no one's all that good at it.
+3 intelligence than anything else.
All right. So the Lord Earl just bleeds out on the ground from the neck and is dead. Let me do this.
No empathy. Yoga's just gonna say, I want to premise that this isn't what I usually prefer, but there wasn't a better option.
I don't prefer this, but he's dead and it's fine. Wow.
Well-
All right. Let me just take this piece
Yoga
of paper
can't
and
carry
tear it in
on
half.
not being a criminal.
Oh,
if you
sorry,
get-
Brad.
No, it's totally fine. Trust me. There's other people to kill. I just need to, once these items are identified, take care of that. But go on.
There really was only one option. He was just able to make me doubt for a bit, as I like clean the blood onto my sleeve from the knife.
I'm gonna start. Is prestidigitation enough to just clean up a bunch of blood?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start cleaning up blood and say, we need to do something with the body. Actually, it might be easy enough to just dump it in the river.
And then
Brightleaf nods.
they'll find that stab wound on him. Sloppy on my part, actually, now that I think about it.
Worse things could have happened. I don't think he was a very well-liked man.
Here, let me. I'm glad you did it, Bron. I am. But I had another question. But it's fine. Can
I still
one
got
of you-
to speak with Dead.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Would to keep this from being an issue later and to reduce our risk, can we dig hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we dig 6, say a foot deep holes just scattered about?
I think the river is the better way to go.
Well,
him
there's a
drift-
lot of
Down river for a bit, yeah.
yeah, but there's still towns and all, and I don't want another. This is still a busy riverway, and I don't want word of a dead nobleman getting out just in case. I'll handle the dirty work. I just need you to dig me some holes.
Actually, Yoga's gonna ignore that and he's gonna look at Kleeck. Kleeck, are you okay?
I just didn't expect it, and I don't. Well, he would have told about it, I guess. I would have rather not killed him, but I guess what can you do?
I'd probably say there's maybe a little bit kind of a little bit of sadness in Yoga's eyes as well, but he's pressing on a little bit more. He's gonna look at the two people who are good at tracking and stuff, Brightleaf and Kleeck. Is there perhaps a different way we can go when we're crossing the river? That way we're not caught out by those woodsmen again.
We could cross where we're not on Lordner land and go around. Whether upriver or downriver, there's only so much that they can watch.
Do you need me tomorrow, or is it Thursday?
Yeah, the red route. That would be a workable route.
It would also be a long route, but a lot of river walking.
Yep. Might be easier to just cross here.
Yeah, it's
Pass it
probably
back.
less.
And
I
then
was
just travel
thinking I don't
over.
want to set foot near Lordner's Land without having, but that's probably far enough.
Yeah, that'd probably be fine. And in any case, it's however you want to get back across. But yeah, at this point, you have a dead body and 5 people standing around it talking about it.
So I'm out of character. I kind of blanked. Why was Leon wanting to bury the body over putting it in the river?
So that no one will find it floating downriver.
Yeah, last thing we need is more suspicious drawn by a dead noble.
What?
Even if the boat did explode, it's kind of weird to have just one stab wound kind of being the killing blow, you know? Is that agreed, or do we still want to throw it down the river?
I don't care. Dead is dead.
Well, the good thing is, did you do your paper and everything?
Do we have any tools to
payroll?
make a hole?
Frickin' Stevens?
The hole only needs to be about a foot. We need a few holes about a foot deep, and I can handle the rest from there.
A foot, a hole, a foot. Bleh. A hole a foot deep still needs tools, and he's kind of brought out his spell book. He's looking through it. I don't have anything that can mess with terrain.
Why do we even have to go through all this trouble? They'll just blame the landless anyway.
That does sound like something they would do, but I don't think that would be good for us or them. Aren't we trying to help the landless?
I agree. Yeah, it probably would be a bigger issue if they got caught doing this instead of us.
Well, they won't get caught doing this. They're just going to be blamed.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Is this little shack part of Lordner's?
Oh, you mean... Oh, I mean, okay, so Brightleaf did tell Bron that there was an abandoned-looking shack farther to the east, but you wouldn't see it from where you are. So it is something that's been brought up, but I don't think Leon would know about it.
Can I make a perception check to see if I see it?
Sure. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not going to see it.
Well,
The
shit.
woods are pretty thick here. It's kind of nestled into some trees and stuff. I don't know. You never saw it.
Okay. All right. So,
I'm looking at Earl's body. I know he's kind of been stripped. Besides say that his face didn't.
That's what I was asking. I was like, if you order it from Hamburg,
If his face wasn't there, would he be? Could you tell he was a duke after he's been stripped?
Well, he's still bound and clothed. There's just an open gash in his neck and a lot of blood around his mouth and neck. So, there's some bruising around his face, but, he's starting to go pale now as everything seeps out of him and rigor mortis is starting to set in, at least first rigor. And roll a perception check or not a perception, roll investigation for me there, Yoga, as you look at this dead body. That'll do it. Wow, you hit the DC dead on. Okay, Yoga, you see on this lord's left hand, on his ring finger, there's a ring.
What?
Okay, I grabbed the ring. Is it anything special?
I mean, it's sort of a dull metallic band with some strange glyphs inscribed on it. What languages does Yoga speak?
Good question. It is Aquan, Celestial, Common.
Well, you would not speak the language that it is written in then.
So
roll an Arcana check for me as you take and inspect this object.
Shit.
It's a ring. Seems interesting and kind of unique with those inscriptions on it, but hard to say otherwise.
I'm gonna immediately just pass it to Bron, but as Yoga's gonna say, and kind of not looking happy what he's about to suggest, we could burn him and throw him in the river, strip him of his clothes, and at the very least, if he's found, it'll be harder to tell that this is Mr. William.
Bron just smiles, pats you on the shoulder, and is like, nice thinking.
Rolls by the way, Yoga has handed you the ring.
Oh, a ring? Where'd you find this?
He left it on his finger.
What? Bron looks really confused. I thought I took all of his rings already.
You will recall, Bron, that he had 7 rings on his fingers. The only unadorned finger that he had was the ring finger of his left hand. And here you thought he was saving it for marriage. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check as you inspect the ring in your hand.
Alright, I'll cast guidance as well.
Sure.
Yoga's also asking, I have a 10 box, but if anyone has any fire spells, this might be a little bit easier.
Kleeck?
5.
It's a ring.
Is it particularly shiny?
No, it is a dull metallic. It is not very shiny.
I was about to say, this is also a ring that came from a dead
make it
body.
shiny. If it's being offered to me, I'll take it.
No, I'm keeping it.
You're keeping it?
Yeah, I'll put it with the rest of the rings.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to question your character, Kleeck, but this is from the dead Earl that we just killed.
Oh, fair. I got distracted by shiny.
Yeah.
I may have been in the middle of sending something to someone, a resource for them, and I heard ring.
So, are we burning it then?
Yeah, I guess it's easier than the alternative.
Just in case.
Leon, you have a fire spell, right?
Yeah, but I do just have a tinderbox that might be easier, just in case we run into any
Kleeck, can't you light
unforeseen
fires very quickly?
I can light a fire, but I am. That's about it.
Let's
if we make
see.
a campfire, I can light
Does
it.
she have torches?
I can light a torch too.
Oh, Brightleaf does not have a torch. That makes sense. She has dark vision. So.
We went out of character. We burned through all the torches when we went in that crypt.
I don't have a torch. I don't have torches.
Yeah, Rhea's not here. No one has torches. Okay.
I was about to say, Yoga didn't like so he's leaving this up to the party. He brought the idea on. He doesn't want to execute it.
I have torches. I've got 5 of them.
Ah, nice.
Makes things easy.
If you pull one out, I'll light it.
Excellent.
I'll even pull out my scepter of frost and think in case things get too hot.
You're like, I'm ready. You get like the fire hose, and you're just ready. Then all. All right. So Kleeck, you sure enough, you're able to light the torch, and Bron, you have now a flaming torch, and you can set it to the body. Do you want to recover the ropes, or just burn him with the ropes?
Let's recover the ropes.
All right. You cut the ropes free. His limp, well, again, slightly rigged now. Corpse lays on the ground. You pull the ropes free and put your dead body ropes back in your pack, and you light the Lord's body, and sure enough, in not too long, he's aflame.
Nice. Okay, well that's done. I guess we wait here and throw him in the river when he's done.
I suppose so. Out of character, does any do we need to do anything, or should we just kind of fast forward this?
Well, that's what I was wondering. At this point, the body's dead. You've gotten everything you want to get out of it. Do you want to make for the point where you're going to do the crossing of the river, head back to the Coventress, and plot your next move? Because we can take a short break as you do that.
Before we do the skip, I want to try and accelerate him burning.
Okay. How so? You have firebolt or something?
No, I have prestidigitation and a degree in chemistry.
Okay.
I'm going to cast prestidigitation and make a block of sulfur in my hand.
Ooh, let me see. What is does prestidigitation let you create materials?
It a small trinket that can fit in the palm of your hand.
Is a block of sulfur a trinket?
So are you making a trinket of sulfur, like a small chunk of it?
Yeah, like a little bitty chunk of sulfur. It's,
You create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image, or that lasts until the end of your next turn.
I don't think trinket is a chunk of a material.
A trinket can be literally anything,
Hey,
as far as I'm aware.
You know where the NyQuil is?
That's true. A trinket can be anything.
This might be a cool rule, whatever that phrasing was.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Well,
But if so, prestidigitation just got a lot stronger.
yeah, because then it depends on using chemical.
Well, the one thing is, no matter what you make with it, it's only going to last an hour. But yeah, with chemical reaction, that's not a problem.
Let me say it like this. Prestidigitation can light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire. I would say that now that this body is no longer a creature as such, it is easy to use prestidigitation for its basic purpose of lighting candles, torches, or campfires. And since this thing is already on fire, I'm just going to classify it as a candle, torch, and campfire all at once. So you can just use prestidigitation to add fire to the body, and it'll continue to burn. The only reason is because I think that making a sulfur trinket might be, as Kleeck said, a little bit... It's like, yes, its rules is written, because a trinket could be anything, but rules is intended. I don't think that they meant for like alchemical compounds to be something that you could create. And I feel like illusory image is actually... I think non-magical trinket is OP. I don't know. I guess it disappears in a turn. If you throw it at the stuff, it'll explode and then dissipate. Like, it wouldn't last that long.
Yeah, fair enough. But
the effect is what you get. You get the body to burn faster if that's what you're looking for. Another version will do it. So, but I like the idea. That was very cool. Please continue thinking that way. That was awesome.
Okay, fair enough. Once it's beyond recognition of being the Earl, I'll snuff it out and we'll start chunking it in the river.
All right. So it cools off. You're using magic to burn it. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check to see how well you burn it. You're gonna think you did a good job no matter what. like that it's unrecognizable. But I want to see how well you did. And roll with advantage because Bron helped light it on fire too. So you had 2 people working on it.
Do we
You
want?
Yeah, who you want, me or you want? Kleeck?
You're doing the prestidigitation work at the end, unless Yoga's helping.
Oh
Case.
no, Yoga doesn't want. I was gonna ask
Okay.
because he said he was gonna also use prestidigitation to take it
Yeah.
like cool it out.
Then
I was gonna say that it might just be easier to use my Scepter of Frost.
gotcha. Yeah, then Leon, do Arcana with advantage.
I'm not worried about the charges. It's full charges. I know it gets at least one.
Yeah, with an 18, you feel quite confident that this is an unrecognizable skeletal charred mass. Some of the limbs started to curl a little bit. One of them broke off. So really, it's just like a corpse with kind of a really, really shriveled right leg, and the left one is missing below the knee now because it broke at the knee, and the arms have curled in, and they're like kind of clutched to the chest, and the body is you can't tell who or what it was anymore. So it's a lot lighter, as a lot of the fat and protein of the human body was burnt off by the fire and is now in some of the ash and soot and carbon that is a little bit coating your clothing now. You smell like burning corpse having hung out near it. Again, prestidigitation can take care of that really fast, but we're not there yet. So you have this corpse, and I don't think anyone's going to notice you. You're pretty far south. You're not on Lorgner land. You head to the riverside. Who's leading this expedition? Please roll a perception check as you come out at the river's edge.
I'll cast guidance.
All right. Are you the one checking then?
Yeah, go on.
All right. So yeah, perception check for who's in the lead. Okay, 13 and guidance.
I was just thinking about giving
15.
him a 13. That's funny.
All right. So with the 15, you are going to see that the river appears clear. Looking up and down the, I'm assuming also that you're like at the red point that you're going to cross. So this is like a really wide point of the river where it branches in both directions. And looking across the river to the other side, the far side, and then looking at sort of like this little cape of land right here, you don't see anyone at all. And you feel like you could probably dump the body in the river, and you find a good spot where you feel like it's not going to get caught up in the shoreline or anything anytime soon. And drop it in and watch it kind of the blackened husk of this guy who was quite a lively little drunkard lying rapscallion just hours ago, kind of bobs and floats and kind of disappears as it floats downriver. The blackness of the charred corpse, a little bit of a standout against the rest of the river, but the darkness of the water and distance and the small amount that surfaces makes it pretty unrecognizable even more as it goes downriver, and soon it is lost to sight. And the Earl is gone. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to move the party to the riverbank, and I'm going to say, let's take a short break and meet back up in 3, 4, 5 minutes. Refill drinks, go to the bathroom, and then the party will cross the river and head back to the Coventress and go ahead and think about what you're going to do after that, because there is some planning to be done.
Oh, for sure.
I
I'll
have
be
some
right
leather
back.
working to learn.
Years of academy training wasted.
Come on,
No.
Blake. We got these politics to get through, and you're trying to tan leather.
I'm going to
That's
ask you this, though, Leon.
politics.
I'm going to ask you this, though, Leon. That degree in chemistry, I wonder who else in town might have one of those. Oh!
Oh, that
no.
was. Oh, I know what. I know, and I'm glad that we've murdered him. I have a whole. That meant so much more than I think you know.
I mean...
But I hope you
It's
know.
fun.
I hope
fun.
it makes sense. I have
Yes.
so many ideas now.
This is incredible, and I'm really enjoying myself. So yes, let's head to break, and I will be right back.
Damn it. So she's a druggie, and she's gonna be on a tweak in the next 24 hours. Ooh. And she's gonna be acting bad. Okay, so is that...
I have water and I also have fries.
I have Doritos and a Sprite.
cream soda and cheese balls.
What a fun sort of snacks. I mean, I've got the same thing literally every Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm drinking
But
out of
I
a
ain't
new...
complaining.
Yeah. Oh. I have a tankard made of glass now, and I'm drinking out of that.
Hey, Leon, what part of the world do you live? If you're
I live in...
comfortable.
I live in northeastern Georgia.
Ah, okay. You know what a Freddy's is, right?
I personally am back. I don't know about it.
A Freddy's?
Yeah, okay. I know it's only an American thing, but I don't know if every state has it.
No,
They
it's
make
Freddy's.
they make steak burgers and also ice cream and custard.
I have not heard of that. So it's not been in Washington or California where I've lived.
Interesting.
Sounds kind of like a Culver's over here in Missouri.
Oh, what?
Culver's.
Culvers.
Yep.
My wife says we do have
Don't have
one in the next town over, but I've never seen them.
That's weird. Here's something that's only in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho is Taco Time. It's like Taco Bell, but really good. So that's one of those restaurants that I miss now that I moved to California. Now here in California, they have In-N-Out Burger, and everyone who lives here swears by it. I'm sorry,
I love In-N-Out.
it's not my thing. Like it's all right, but it's just way too oniony, not enough seasoning. I've always liked McDonald's, and I'm not gonna lie, McDonald's to me is better than In-N-Out, and it's not even close. So hey, there you go. To each their own, though.
I've never been or seen, and to be fair, I haven't traveled or been anywhere outside of Kansas.
Mhm.
But yeah, In-N-Out and Five Guys are the burger places I hear about often, but I've never got to try them.
Five Guys is better but more expensive. In-N-Out's super, super, super cheap, and to me, that's the appeal more than anything else.
Man, it's the fries from Five Guys.
Yeah.
That has really good fries.
The burgers are
remember-
good too, but the fries are legit.
I remember the first time I went to Five Guys in London, and me and my family were there, and we ordered burgers and fries with every meal, and we all ordered large fries, thinking they were going to be just regular large fries. And I remember the worker looked at us and was like, "You don't want all those large fries."
And you were like, "Yes, we do."
We're like, "Yeah, yes, we do, yes, we do." And he's like,
how many did you bring home? Like all of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fries.
Oh, they're so good.
They are. Hey, is everyone back then? Or are we still waiting on Kleeck?
Everybody ping in chat.
I am here.
Wonderful. Then we have all returned. And I will say, for expediency's sake, because you didn't see anyone at the crossing when you dumped the body, you were able to cross in whatever order. There was no issue. And you are now on the little isthmus there. And so here's my question. Do you want to head through Lorgner Land or around Lorgner Land through the farmland?
You was definitely going to suggest the farmland.
Okay. It's kind of unanimous farmland here. So the group is going to head kind of on the outskirts of the farmland. And out here, you're not going to see any homes per se. You're going to see storage sheds. You might see a few tents that have been kind of set up and kind of hidden in little groves of trees or copses over here and there. you can see that there are people working the farms and out here in the fields even now. And a lot of them look to be, a little bit lower class laborers. Some of them appear to be even like possibly landless. A few of them, in fact. And yeah, it looks like some of them just kind of live out here in the fields and work them as well, but they don't have the same kind of like farmland residences that you would expect. Like there's no homes out here, just storage sheds and barns and silos, things that, look like they would be at home on a farm, but the home on the farm it's not there. As you head closer into town, you...
Can I...
Yes?
I'm looking at the tents.
Mhm.
Do they come off as like maybe some landless have moved down the farmlands with tents?
What are you looking for? If some of the tenants have moved out here into their tents?
Yeah.
Yes, it appears that some folks are living out here in the farmlands, and it appears to be people who are working the farms. There are a number
Not
of people.
just random landless people.
Yeah, it appears to be people who are. I mean, they look like they're not wearing finery. They're out there in leathers, and they look grubby, and they're going through roots and pulling stuff and planting stuff and tilling and doing all sorts of different farming activities depending on what crop it is in what field. But yeah, there's a number of gnomes and halflings, and even some humans and other races, but mostly those are the three you see represented here. And they're working out here in the fields. In fact, at times, there's more activity going on out there, and this is something that you realize as you head along. There are more people out here working than you realize simply because a number of them are small. And I mean that in the actual mechanical sense of the word. Gnomes and halflings are small. Mm-hmm. So as you head through the fields, you might not always see the workers working them, but there's a lot of people out here tilling the fields right now. At least you see more tents than you see people to populate them, unless you account for that. I guess everyone roll a perception check as you pass through, see if there's any more stuff that you see. This is kind of the general stuff as you're just passing through.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the party as well if they want to potentially ask people some questions.
Hey.
Yeah, so Bron and Kleeck, you will actually, the both of you will see that there are a number of people, like there's quite a bit more like halflings and gnomes about, and even with scores like that, you'll see that there actually are some residences out here. They appear few and far between, but you do see like a halfling kind of hole, like a door, one of those wooden doors into a halfling home that's underneath a field. And you see a couple enter and exit it as you pass by. So you can see that there's more residences out here than you maybe expected at first, because they're kind of hidden into the land, as is the custom of halflings and gnomes. Gnomes more with the stonework and such, and with like their groves but with this, you're seeing quite a few tents still, and yeah, that would be about it. You don't see any guards out here. For all the talk of landless being dangerous and whatnot, you don't see any of the town's guard or imperial guard patrolling out here in the lands. You maybe see, here and there once in a while, and this would be everyone now at this point. You do see like what looks like a more well-dressed person with what looks like one or two personal guards, kind of riding horses slowly, looking out at the fields. It seems like the gentleman is just looking out at his fields and kind of monitoring them. You can see there's people working out there. Did you want to talk to anyone? Certainly your group will be noticed as you walk through. The turtle and the masked man and the large crow and the other two maybe a little bit more normal, but you three stand out a little bit. So you'll be noticed as you walk by. People might, stand up and look at you, maybe like chat with one another and then get back to work. They see weird stuff sometimes, but...
I'm asking the party if it'd be okay if I'd stop. I'm not going to stop unless they say that's cool.
Sure, go for it. But we do need to be on a move.
Any time that Bron can take to like stop and just rest for a bit, he'll take it because he's exhausted.
Yeah. At this point, Yoga's asking if he can go talk to people. So Brightleaf looks at you, Bron, and is like, "I think we could wait for a minute here if you want to talk to someone, Yoga."
Okay, I won't take too terribly long, just a question or two. Yeah, so I'm gonna walk up to probably maybe someone kind of like that's like working, but not try to step on any of their crops. Just kind of approach them.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a perception check to see how well you do at finding someone who's busy to talk to you.
Huh.
Yeah. All right. So sorry.
There are better perception checks. To be
I know,
quite
but
honest.
sometimes you just get excited to see someone roll a damn 20. So, Yoga, you looking around, you see a person pushing like a wheelbarrow full of like looks like manure. You see like 3 people. Let's see, it's spring. What are we harvesting in spring? They're probably pulling turnips or something. Like you see there's just a number of people who are super busy, it looks like. And then you see one guy who puts down his like scythe. This other small halfling gentleman, kind of corpulent. You can see his little outie belly button poking out from underneath his shirt. He kind of puts down his scythe and takes off his straw hat for a moment, wipes his sweaty brow, and goes and makes a stretch. And you can even hear him at this distance. Like you can read his lips. It's one of those perfect moments, and you can see him say, "Time for a lunch break." And you go, "This is the one." So as he kind of heads away from his work post, he's kind of angling sort of in a direction past you and the party to head over to what looks like maybe his tent on the opposite side of the road that you've been walking up. And you have a perfect opportunity to stop him as he passes by, amiably walking by, muttering to himself about strawberry scones.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of catch him. Hey, hello. Can I ask you a question? I can walk and talk with you if you have somewhere you need to be.
Oh, no, just having my lunch break. Don't want to take too long, but I'm not going too far. Such a big deal. So we're just right over here then. But yeah, come along. So he just heads on over into his tent. He hops in and disappears for a second. You hear some rummaging inside. And a moment later, he steps out and he's holding a large piece of pie in his hand, and already has like some like what looks like whatever the sauce is in there, it's like a red, maybe raspberry sauce, strawberry sauce, not sure, but he has some on his mouth already. And he's like, "So, what can I help you with?"
Oh, me and my group, we've been staying here for about a week now, and we've just been getting used to the political environment. And as a turtle, I love to travel, and I've just had some questions about the place that people of different places seem to have different views on. I was hoping I could bother you about that.
It ain't nothing to me. I don't have no say in the local whatevers. Just moved up here from Kedda. Didn't want to have to deal with the the ne'er-do-wells coming to the casino no more. But yeah, it's kind of right shit show in here. At least you get a vote elsewhere. But I mean, food's good. He takes another big bite.
Yes, have you been? How you got? Do you stay on your farmland, or have you ever walked up? Are you a part of? And I'll kind of like point and this landless camp over here. Would you say you're a part or separate from the landless, as some people call them, that live over there?
Well, I mean, I don't stay in the Stillwater camp. I live right here, and he, is licking his fingers now as he's already finished the pie. So, I mean, I'm landless. Most of the people out here are, except for, he points over at the Lord who's still slowly trotting by. He's maybe like 200 feet down the road away from you now. He's already passed you by. And he's like, them what owns the land come out and check on it from time to time. But most of us out here, yeah, we're landless folk. And anyone who can afford to live on the lands and be landed doesn't have to be out here pulling, daisies or nothing. So it's kind of, you want to talk to the common man. He's licking his fingers again. You found him?
All right. I was just a bit curious. You at least seem very prideful working on the farm. I wasn't sure if the conditions were the same out here as the same as they were in the camp.
Well, it's not pretty anywhere, but the camps are a lot more jam-packed and a lot more, they get swept pretty frequently. The town guard comes in and turns the place over looking for whatever they're upset about at the time. Sometimes they just stomp the camp down and tell us to set up somewhere else. I thought it was easier to just live in a tent out in the farmland where I work. They're not going to come out here and stomp on this. Unless they extend the town boundaries again. But that's not something I'm going to have to worry about right now. I'm getting paid enough to live and eat, and it is fine with me.
Yoga at this point has his journal. He's kind of writing some things down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
What's writing there? He kind of peers over.
Oh, just some. You don't mind if I write this down, do you? I like to write testimonies.
Oh, no, sure. I like a good book.
Anyway, have you ever been forced out of... were you ever on a different farm that you might have been forced out of, or have you been here for the most of your life?
Most of my life. No, I got here a couple months ago. They wanted farmers, and, I thought I can do it out in Kedda and be hunted by loan sharks, or I can come up here and be maybe a little safe from that for a while now. You get the feeling this halfling has a story.
I do, but I'm not gonna waste everyone's time by talking about it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Brennan. That was your secret favorite NPC.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just letting you know that in talking to him, you're getting the feeling that there's a story behind their
he said
life.
loan sharks, and I was interested, but
yeah, he also said he's from another city, so
I guess I'll peel. Are most of the farmers from other cities, or just you?
I mean, there's some folk what are from other cities. I would say most of the people who haven't been here all their lives are across the river, and they're from the Empire. I mean, sorry, we're all the Empire. They're from Swaria.
Right. It seems questionable, I guess, and I've kind of getting a sense of where you're coming from, but it seems like if you don't have land, I don't know why you'd want to purposely move yourself over into this rough environment.
Well, if you don't have money, where else are you going to go? I came here because I heard there's steady work and good food, and it's pretty besides. And it wasn't no lie. I mean, look at this place, and he kind of spreads his arms and points to what is actually an incredibly quaint and idyllic setting if you love rolling farmland. Which it is. It is rolling meadowed farmland, incredibly fertile, arable soil. It's what is it? There's great drainage. There's water readily available. It's irrigated. Thank you. This land is great for growing crops, and that is what they do here. So I love it. I love being here. But yeah, as to your point, if your thing isn't working hard in the fields and living in them, and you don't got no money, I don't know why you'd come here.
I'm going to kind of nod, kind of wrap up my notes and say, well, I should be getting back to my friends. Thank you for letting me bug you on your break.
Oh, certainly. I have another few minutes left, so I guess I'll just lay here in the sun and look up at the clouds and... You have a good one there, Turtle Man.
I nod. Thank you. I'm going to head back to the group.
You see him lay back on the ground in front of his tent entrance, and he's just kind of staring up at the sky, looking happy.
I'll kind of brief anybody that's curious about that, so that can now be everyone's knowledge what I just had. But
of course, Leon Kleeck, what were you up to during that? Because Bron was resting and Brightleaf was hanging out with him, In fact, Brightleaf at one point would have said to Bron, "You're harder than I am. I wasn't
Groovy.
ready to kill him yet."
He had a silver tongue. I'll admit
Yes.
that he almost had me fooled. But in the end, well, the risk was too great. He had to die.
I agree. You just were faster to it. I'll work on that.
I'll just go nod and go back to resting my eyes.
Yeah, she won't say anything else after that either. She just appears thoughtful and is kind of like, on watch, like that idle watch thing. You're kind of glancing around and stuff. But yeah, Leon, Kleeck, anything that you were doing during that moment as Yoga was chatting with the fellow and Bron Brightleaf were chilling?
Probably just listening in, really. And keeping
Gotcha.
an eye out for any Lorgner men, because that was a little scary.
Yeah, they're not going to bother you. You're out in the farmlands. They're in this more wooded homestead area,
Yes,
so you're fine.
but Kleeck, political borders are pointless.
Oh yeah, he's just like,
Don't
I'm scared. I'm scared. Yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
you.
jump out of another bush. Is the creepy questioner here?
Yeah, exactly. So, party, what would you like to do? Are you going to get back on the whale pale snail trail?
I wanted to see before we left if I recognized the noble that had been riding by.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Off we go.
Yep, I'm fine with just heading back to the docks.
Ba, 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 ba. The party heads to the docks. So, the party returns to the docks. Lucy still at the Temple of Light, I'm thinking. Rhea is going to appear worried as you return and be like, I still haven't seen Lucy yet. Not sure what's going on. So, yeah. What should we do? I'm also going to go to boat view since we are on the boat. It doesn't really matter, but that's what we're doing and that's where we're making plans. So,
Okay. So Ray is freaking out about Lucy being vanished?
well, she's just like, I don't see her right now, and I'm confused about why she isn't here. I don't know where she went and why she's missing. Is really the thing.
Yes, this is a good time to discuss what next goals are. Frankly, I've stopped caring about the vote. I want to help. I more want to help the landless. But I know, and I look at Bron and Leon. I know you two have your own personal goals here. I want to make sure those are taken care of as well.
Well, I think we can all work this out together. What did we learn from the Earl about what was her name? Thorn? The other candidate from here. What did we learn about her? Her exactly. She said she's the only one that's run against the current mayor. Oh.
I was surprised to hear that it's just a straight up vote. There isn't any speeches or anything given. It's going to be a lot harder to try and get a different mayor voted up when it's just put the name in a basket.
Yeah. Well.
Bron, is there any time limit on your temple, or do we still have time to worry about that?
They haven't given me a specific time. All I know is that the urban development is rapid. It's going on right now. But I feel if we leave it for too long, then My temple and my people are surely doomed.
Well, fortunately, I think our goals align. I want to make sure the landless have a little bit more. They don't have to worry about their land being taken from them. So I also don't want the urban development to continue. Yoga's pulling out his notebook. He's looking.
Okay. So that's good. I did learn something very interesting to help mine, but I'm not sure how that'll help overall. Wait. No, that would work. Earl said that the majority of the nobles that own land here don't want the current mayor to keep ruling, correct?
Yes, that is what he said. He said that many of them don't actually support or like her, but that he was the one who kept them in check.
He's out of the picture now. I'm gonna stare at Bron when I say this. He's out of the picture now.
Wait, who's
Which
out of the
means-
picture? What did you all do? I mean, I
killed
saw
them
the
all.
explosion, but oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh! Is that why you have that shiny stuff with you?
Oh,
She
yeah.
points at like the bundled rapier and cloak.
Kleeck is uncomfortable at the mention of it.
Yoga's gonna kind of like sigh and say, I don't want to think right now. And he just kind of looks at the stuff. I can identify that. Keep my mind busy. I'm offering to identify the magic items you have.
I'll hand over, the rapier, the cloak, and that weird ring that to me seems like shouldn't exist because I checked over him thoroughly.
That's 33 minutes of time.
What order are you doing them in, Yoga?
All
That's the order we're going to reveal them in while everyone has conversations.
right. I'm gonna go with rapier, ring, and whatever the last one was.
Okay, so you take the rapier with, I believe I said the topaz set in the hilt and like the sort of etching and filigree that goes up the blade a little bit. And you sit with it and you kind of inspect it using the pearl and you ponder it for about 10 minutes as the rest of the group converses about what to do next. I'm going to say for just the sake of it being more fun, you don't have to focus so hard that you cannot respond at this time, Yoga. So
Okay,
this is a conversation that everyone can be involved in. I just wanted to make sure that was apparent that you don't have to be like, I am focused only on this. I can't even talk. That just seems dumb at this point.
If we order it now,
Gotcha.
we get it by the time we do. Can we?
What's our strategy here? How are we going to approach this? I think helping the landless is more important than getting rid of the mayor, but it appears that the two might be connected inextricably. So,
I want to
how
work
do
with
we...
Leutner. He's got the ability, if given power again, that he can work for the landless. I think I was given his word by a couple of different people, Ukturk and I think Captain Miles, and I myself, having talked to him, I believe that there's good in him. If we could get him at a higher power, I think that this place would be better off.
You trust this Duke?
I do.
Even knowing that he has considerable power already and could merely be lying to you in order to increase it, like most of these other nobles?
When I sat down at the table, he was keeping it professional for his colleagues, but I saw the pure hatred he had for that mayor. He does not enjoy what's happening.
Is he really the right one to be making decisions then, if he's so blinded by hatred?
Yura kind of stops and like almost just doesn't respond. as he continues looking at the rapier. I don't think he wants to be mayor, but I think
Yoga, you will remember that he said he cannot be mayor.
Yep. Yeah. He can't be mayor regardless. But I think the legislature should have more power. The mayor should not be able to have more power than law.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know any of the lords and ladies here. I guess one's dead now. But like, how would we even do anything with that? I mean, I know that Leon, your sister is one of them, right? And I mean, isn't she not gonna, want to do what I ask her to do? Isn't she gonna try and kill you again or something?
Yes, but I'm working on that. The Earl had some very interesting information that I would like to work around.
Oh yeah, like what?
Sister is the word I suppose is addicted to some sort of narcotic that the Earl has been providing her recently.
Oh, you mean like this stuff? And she's going to pull out that small baggie of green herbs that Kleeck remembers seeing and remembers what it is, but wouldn't tell anyone for some reason before.
What's that?
Oh, this is something we found that one halfling guy who wouldn't leave. You weren't there yet. Brightly front, you remember. Kleeck, it was that guy with the cart, and he had all the money, and me and Cayman stole it, and
Was this even out of character? Was this even before yoga?
this was probably
This was like session before he got
this was
introduced.
the session before Yoga joined. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I might have been the first session. I remember Brightleaf, or not Bright, Rhea going invisible. And
Yeah, that's what
sneaking
it
in a
was.
car.
Yeah. That was the first session that you joined after they chased the assassin off the ferry, right? Yeah, that
I
guy was a
probably wasn't
smuggler,
aware
and
of
they
it,
stole
though.
they
Yeah.
stole drugs and gold and something else out of his cart.
Leon, I do have a question.
Shoot. Yes, Yoga, what's up?
What happens to the Rassans if you kill your sister? Is she the main speaker, or I don't know how nobles work?
No, she's just one of them. The rest I will get in time, preferably with you lot's help or otherwise. And that would leave me the sole beneficiary, claimed or otherwise.
Do you
I
want
have
to be at the top?
no, not at all. Frankly, I'd burn all the money they have if gold was flammable. But here we are. Actually, depending on who all of us here makes it to the end, I'm more than happy to distribute all the wealth and land that they have amongst you all.
Well, geez,
Just
Leon, that's mighty generous of you. I mean, I was going to help you before because, I mean, the story you told was just ridiculous. But, I mean, if I get to steal on the way there and get rich, come on, let's do it.
it's all blood money. I have no interest. All I ask for is a small plot out in Valhalla, or maybe a southern Bellaforte to live out my days on.
Yeah, well, if you're splitting the holdings, then, you can have what you want, and I'll take something else.
Can honestly just liquidate the rest of the land.
I think it's a little soon to be talking about what to do with the reward for killing this person yet, Rhea. You're no fun.
That is true, Brightleaf. But that's several months, weeks, whatever down the road, and several siblings to go.
I'm just trying to think if maybe there's any way I can intertwine.
Kleeck, you flutter down next to Ollie, and she goes, you give her a little bit of meats, and starts
I believe
eating.
Ali was male.
He starts eating, and then preening, and then kind of ruffling up and making that kind of poofy bird, like I'm sitting here to chill and get comfortable. You know what birds look like when they get poofy.
Mm-hmm. He is happy bird. That is good.
Happy bird got food.
Ever since I bought him, I've been wearing the glove. Even like that's just kind of a part of Kleeck's get up now. Is the glove on his right arm?
Is that the one you pull arrows with?
Yeah, it's the one I pull the string with.
You might need to modify it so it doesn't mess with your fingers too much.
Well, Yogi, you're looking for some way to intertwine your goal with mine. What exactly is your goal? That's something I'm not terribly aware of.
I, too, would like to know this. Yoga, what do you want to do here?
Like I said, I think that somehow power needs to be given back to the legislation. And I want to help the landless here. I'm just not sure. There's out of character. I've been talking a lot, so I was just wondering if Bron, because I know this is part of your thing as well, if you had any specific ideas. I don't want to overshadow you if I've been talking too much.
Say that again? I couldn't hear you.
I was asking Bron a question. Or Bro. Sir Bro, are you there?
Yeah, Bron is just he needs rest before he talks about anything. He's fucking exhausted right now.
I mean, at this point, we can all, y'all can do a long rest, or even just kind of chill on the boat. We can assume that you're doing this talking as part of a long rest if you'd like. Because you can do light activity as part of your long rest.
We could maybe.
I mean,
what time of day is it?
It was morning when we stopped before, like dawn. You got over there maybe like an hour and a half after dawn.
So it's probably not even noon.
It's maybe like 10:30 a.m. almost 11. So it's not dawn. It's not noon yet.
Yeah, they missed their long rest though, so they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we should. Yoga would suggest that we should all more take some time to think about it. I'll kind of pick on that because, yeah, if Bron's not saying anything because he's tired, then I don't want to limit.
He's basically he's sitting at the table, holding up his head, and it looks like he might be sleeping already.
Yeah.
As I'm doing that, I'm gonna say, I'm sorry to keep delaying my thoughts, but maybe you two should rest and we can have this discussion when everyone's. I know you guys had a long night, and I'm still looking at the rapier. I'll tell you what these are in the morning. Or
at this point, you would actually have been able to identify the rapier, and I mean, I don't have like an elegant name for it. I just called it bolt rapier, but I will send you the description for it, so that you can decide who, how, and where to share it. So, one moment. Actually, I'm going to throw it in loot. So,
okay,
that sounds more fun.
I probably would just share it anyway, so I'm not keeping anything from the party. But yeah, since Bro is going to be locked down to, a certain amount of time period where he's not able to do anything but rest, do we want to try and have a little bit of downtime, or should we just kind of throw that off so we can continue discussing?
Kleeck has plenty of downtime stuff to do.
Yeah.
I support downtime.
I just don't want Bro sitting here for a bit with nothing
Yeah.
to do.
I mean, I kind of took up most of last session.
A little bit, but also not in a bad way. So it's it's totally fine.
Yeah. I try to make sure everyone's got some spot, but sometimes it happens and sometimes it needs to happen. I wasn't about to be like, no, bro, we got, Yoga's gonna do absolutely nothing because he needs to wait for. No, it's good. It's good. Plus, the interrogation tactics was awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I kind of saw just a little bit of Marine in you. It was really fun.
Thanks. I did get a couple of the mannerisms off some of my sergeants.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could do some downtime.
It's also a case of like if we do downtime, we could also kind of stall, so maybe that we get Lucy in on this conversation for next session.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you guys want to do, I guess.
Sorry, I am finishing writing the bolt rapier. Boom. Bolt rapier requires attunement. A +1 rapier. The additional 1 damage is of the lightning. The bolt rapier contains 5 charges. I have to write how it recharges. Recharges.
Oh, and they lose their reaction. That's nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a special +1 weapon that never got to be used on you. Damn it.
No, it's ours.
And now you're doing the ring?
Yes.
All right, so you pop that down in your lap during this.
But it's up to Leon and Kleeck because I'm going to suggest that those two sleep. I'm assuming they're going to do that.
Kleeck has plenty to do with downtime.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's whatever you want to do.
In fact, he has a project to work on.
Yeah, I'm actually
Indeed.
okay with a bit of downtime. Maybe stall for Lucy.
Yeah, so
Riley.
in the next little bit of time that we have until the session ends, which is, like 40 minutes or so, let's go ahead and describe. Let's go ahead and describe what we would want to do with our downtime. You had some ideas before, but you never got the chance to follow through on them. As you got into town near the docks, I will say that your group, you would have seen that there are posters up praising the mayor and calling for her re-election. And most of them appear to be towards the center of town. It appears that despite the tragedy last night, someone still managed to, in the night, put up a number of posters. So you are back at the boat. But yeah, what did you want to do? Who wants to do what?
I have plans.
Yoga, as you inspect the ring, 10 minutes later, you finish inspecting it, and you realize that it is a magic ring, a ring of mind shielding.
I'll let Kleeck do his downtime.
Yoga, as you inspect the ring and realize that it is a ring of mind shielding, and identifying it, you come to understand its properties. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perception or Arcana?
Either.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I have a +6 in both.
Up to you.
I'll go Arcana. I'm gonna
Okay.
use my divination. 13 + 6, so 19.
You can tell that there is something inside the ring.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna think about it, but I'm gonna let Kleeck do his downtime.
Okay.
Firstly, Bryn, I ask that you check DMs. Bump. I made a reply to something. There's a few questions around the message I replied to.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
You know, you already answered the second part, so really it's just the tools thing.
Woodcarver's tools to work on bows, crossbows, and arrows. I would agree.
I believe that's the raw thing, and that's only been exposed to me because I recently started playing an artificer.
That's totally fine. So yeah, do you have Woodcarver's tools proficiency?
I
we
got
you
Bowyer's Fletcher's tools proficiency earlier, so I'm wondering if should I replace that because it's meant to be Woodcarver's?
So I would say Woodcarver's tools covers the more general set of things, and Fletcher's tools is more narrow and specific. So saying that you have Fletcher's tools means you're good at making arrows specifically. I would say at this point you are good at making bows themselves, so you probably have Woodcarver tool proficiency, yeah. And you can say go ahead and switch it over to Woodcarver's tool since that's the raw equivalent, and that would be then more correct for what you have been doing anyways.
Okay. That wasn't even really, a mechanical thing as much as it was a, hey, should I mess with this?
Yeah, no, it's a good question to ask, and yeah, absolutely. And then the third item.
I see why you wanted me to read this ring. Oh my god, I'm upset. You'll know this like officially once your long rest.
I've read over. I don't even need to read the ring. I've read over it so many times.
You know what it does because you have one.
And I've had characters with them. I've had characters in my campaigns with them.
Yeah, bro. If you can look at the Discord and look at that ring.
No, I've read it. Yeah, I'm like that motherfucker.
That is the third item.
Yo, cloak of protection. That's baller.
So those are the three items that you got off of him, along with the 114 platinum, 392 gold, and 12 silver, and 7 other rings, and the breastplate.
Wait, okay, so hold on. I gotta clarify on the determine whether you're lying. That's only if I'm using magic. I can still insight correctly, right?
Correct.
Yeah. It just prevents magical methods.
Okay, so we should still be somewhat good.
That's how I ran it too. I was like, is he going to use Zone of Truth? Is he going to use Zone of Truth? Never happened.
That would have been fucked up, man. That would have totally fucked us up. Damn.
But you used insight checks, and you got some good ones, so...
I think
you also intimidated him quite a bit, a few times.
I think you did a good job. Wisdom people, because I know we have a couple of people that are really good at. I know Brightleaf, so insight and perceptions. Kleeck seems to be pretty good at it, even though
I mean, mechanically, Brightleaf is a Dex monster, but she has 16 and 3 stats.
Yeah.
So
she's also a ranger, so that's her like casting ability.
Kleeck is basically just a ranger with more attacks, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, this is all from a mechanical sense.
16 wisdom, uses a bow, has some magic.
Who has the highest charisma in this group?
It was a certain pirate who played a warlock.
Who has the highest charisma?
No one's a charisma caster in this group.
I thought Leon was.
Yeah, we used to have 2 warlocks.
Oh, but it's a special class.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it is charisma, though, right?
Yeah, it is. For sorcerers, it's charisma.
No. He's a wizard, sorcerer, crossbreed.
Leon, what's your spell casting modifier?
It's charisma, I think.
Leon, are you?
I thought it might be int.
I was gonna say I
had my thing turned off again. What was the question?
What's your spell casting modifier? I thought it was charisma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it is charisma? Okay.
He's probably. No,
I just didn't remember off the top of my head.
I do actually remember now. I'm looking at his stats. They're kind of all just stats. You don't have to look at them very much. You just press the button to roll. But I am remembering that I rolled so freaking incredibly on yoga. I've got a 16 con, 17 intelligence, 16 wisdom, 14 charisma.
That's
and then a little bit of dump on strength and dex, just a 10 and a 13.
Well, yeah.
But even then, there's no negatives. I think it was like an 85 something kind of roll.
That's a good average.
I think
Yeah.
Kleeck's might have been a 90 plus.
Bron takes the cloak of
I'll be
protection.
honest. I won't let players roll 3 characters when determining stats in my games.
That's fine.
I mean, I enjoy it, but
They have to take the first roll then?
I'm stealing this from one of my other DMs that I really like. So they roll their 44 for each stat, cut the lowest.
46 for each stat.
Yeah.
And then I have them roll an extra set, and then they get the lowest. So let's say
they roll 7 times 4d6 drop lowest, and they pick the 6 stats that they like. Okay, that's a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
That raises the average. So
yeah, because I like raising the average over than what the DMG or PHP suggests for rolling stats, but I've just seen so many players with like an 80 overall in their stats, being able to roll 3 characters stats basically.
mm-hmm.
Oh my god, is that your stats, Leon? 88?
It was a good roll.
It was a very good roll.
It was.
I think Kleeck's might have been a 91.
I think it was too.
Oh my.
Sometimes
Well, you
get good
see
rolls.
my point.
Well, I don't think I rolled it myself. I think someone else let me have it.
Take the 90! Astro, take the 90!
Yeah. I have a 12, 18, 14, 15, 15, 11. Straight stats before bonuses.
Excellent. So, for downtime, Bron's sleeping now. Rhea is worriedly looking around, wondering where Lucy is. And I think probably also panic eating and panic drinking. So she'll get sloshed after a little while. By the time Bron wakes up, she's probably drunkenly looking over the edge, maybe a little weepy, wondering where Lucy is.
That's a halfling.
Yeah. Brightleaf is going to do her meditation trance stuff at the, what was it, like the peak of the, or not the peak of the boat, but like the front of the boat where she has done watch before. She's going to, the bow, thank you. She's going to kind of sit there, crisscross applesauce, and just go into a trance for 4 hours.
Don't worry, your local boat biologist got you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Rhea's, at the edge of the boat freaking out. Bron's asleep. Yoga, are you resting or are you doing anything in particular? And Leon, what are you doing in particular? Who's doing what during the resting time?
I have a small thing, but I'll go last.
I'm going last because I have a lot of things.
Oh, okay. Leon?
I have many a thing.
I have one thing in particular, and I'd like to take Rhea away from her stress eating fit.
Okay. Leon, what do I do? She's not coming back. I don't even know where she went.
Well, I need to go into town for a minute.
Are you going to go look for her?
Well, not necessarily, but I figured we can go and at least try to look around while we're doing this. It's better than sitting on the boat and hoping she shows up.
But I mean, this is her boat. She's got to come back to it. This will be the first place she comes to.
Well, yeah, but still, okay, you're not going to get anything done. If you're worried sick about her, let's go. It may not be looking for her exactly, but it's a better chance than sitting here on your ass stress eating.
She takes the large piece of beef jerky that she had just been chewing on idly, and
I made that.
Looks at it and puts it in a bag and says, "All right, Leon, let's go look in town."
Okay.
And she gets up to go with you.
Yep, I've got to run by the Civic Center so we can look on the way.
All right, let me just get my things, put some stuff. Right. And she goes downstairs. A minute later or so, she comes back and she's got her gear with her and she's ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So the two of you head into town. Yoga, did you want to do something in town?
I was just, honestly, what I was going to do is I was going to go to Turk, just kind of see if they're still around, but I wasn't going to interact with them. I literally just want to know if they've packed up and left, or...
Okay. As you head to Turk, you head through the town. It seems busier in the city proper than it is, farther out in the western area that you're headed to. And when you come to the Ogturk land, it is still gated and closed, and there are sentries on the walls. They appear to be curious and looking over to the east. How close do you get?
Not very close. Just kind of like enough to see that there are people at the gates. And
so you're within sight distance to see that there's people, but you're not within like shouting distance. Like you're still hundreds and hundreds of feet away. Just I see that it's closed. Okay, then yeah, they probably won't notice you either. Maybe if they see you, they'll just be like, "There's a person over there." So yeah, you see that their lands appear to be closed at this time. Not a lot of people surrounding it. It looks still. Maybe at the top of a rise, because this is a little bit of like rolling hilly farmland a little bit. If you're a little bit elevated and you can see into the encampment a little bit, you'll see that there's activity. There's people there. There's orcs there, but the walls are pretty high, so getting a good look is going to be difficult. So for the most part, you're just going to see the walls with some orcs on them and the gates closed.
Yep, that's all I need then.
Okay. So before that takes maybe like an hour to head out there, take a look, come back. Again, you see that the day is kind of busy. There's a lot of people near the docks and the civic center and where the ferry used to be, combing through debris and wreckage and cleaning up. A lot of people kind of just there's a palpable tension to the town, along with that continued smell of smoke and sulfur and other strange things in the air. So the haze hasn't fully lifted, but now around noon, or even as we march farther along, because Bron's resting, into the afternoon, 2, 3, 4, 5, that haze does start to clear. But yeah, so Leon, you and Rhea head into town. What are you up to? You may be muted, Leon.
Okay.
There you are.
I want to walk towards the guard barracks.
The guard barracks, okay.
Over by the civic center, I think? Or is
yes, it is. It is. No, it's by there. The mayor's office is in the civic center, and the Sichuan guard barracks is next to and attached to the civic center. They're probably attached on the interior as well, but you haven't been into that part of it. Anyways, you go into the complex. You see several guards. It seems pretty busy around here. In fact, there is a number of just normal people around here. And as you head inside, you see 5 or 6 of those more elite towns guard surrounding the guard captain. And there's a number of other just regular guardsmen here as well. And he appears to be giving some sort of orders to them as you walk in. You've kind of come in halfway through. And he's saying, we cannot allow this to happen again on our watch. I'm going to need 1st and 2nd Battalion to set up a cordon around the Earl residence. And if they put up a fight, take no quarter. I'm not going to have this in my city anymore. And with that, about 20 men give a sudden salute and start rushing out the door past you. And there's a little bit of an, pardon me, as there's suddenly a bunch of armored men rushing past you as you're coming in. Roll a dex save to not get trampled.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Just don't fail miserably. You're good. No matter what Rhea rolls, let's see. A dex save. Okay. What is that? It's 4 and 7. Wait. Yeah. And she's fine too. So the two of you, you kind of have to tug her by her cloak a little bit to get her out of the way, as she has to cover a little bit more ground because she's smaller. But the two of you manage to dodge off to the side as, again, roughly 20 large armored folk rush past you out into the daylight. And that's not even half of the number of people in the room. It's quite crowded in here, but it's a lot more manageable now. There's breathing room. And, Captain Miles turns to the rest of the assembly and says, we're going to have to double watches on the city. I want 3rd Battalion to stay near the ferry. If any of you can get across the river, I don't want any heroes here, but I need eyes. That is our land still. And, another group of about 10, 11 dudes salute, head out the door. And the lassie says, "You're with me. We're going to have to make sure that this election goes off without a hitch. There have been rumors that the landless might be plotting something. 4 and 5, you're going to sweep all of the encampments and report back anything that you find untoward. We may not have been able to do it early this morning as we intended, what with this nonsense, but Mayor's orders will be done." And they head out. And he's left there looking kind of exhausted, because he also, like Bron, has been up all night. But he turns and notices Leon and Rhea as they come in. And Leon, at least, he'll recognize from... You've talked to him before, yeah? Yeah, you talked to him last night, even. So...
Yeah.
You healed him. He recognizes you.
Right.
Ah, you again. Please, come in. I wanted to thank you for your help last night. This is... Well, to put it plainly, we've never had anything like going before, so... I appreciate the assistance of you and your companions there last night. He kind of like quirks an eyebrow down at the tiny little Rhea, but then goes back to just looking at you because he doesn't recognize her from anything. She definitely didn't help. But what can I help you with? I have a little bit of time, but then I must be away. Urgent matters to attend to. You understand.
Well, I was checking to see if that tip I gave you paid off at all last night over at the Earl's establishment.
Well, we haven't been able to find Lord Earl anywhere. We have a warrant out for his arrest, should he be found. There were a number of things that we found last night that we will be removing today. The place should be cleared, but we're going to need some time to get all of the contraband out of there. But no, we haven't been able to find Lord Earl, and a number of his men have gone to ground, those that we didn't place in prison. The Father Bunschwit has several of them across the river in his capacity, but they are already deceased. I'm waiting for word back from him on what he has found from the dead that the living may not want to tell us. It's all a bit of a bother. I don't understand it myself, but you can see that there's much to do. The election is soon.
See, well, we won't bother you too long. I will say, did you ever look into Madame Razan's connection with Lord Earl?
I mean, other than the same connection that all the lords and ladies of the city seem to have, the higher up you go, the fewer people there are to rub elbows with than your class, if you know what I mean. But I mean, as far as I'm aware, there wasn't any untoward connection. Are you saying that this is something worth investigating? What proof do you have of this?
Well,
Razan has been a model citizen. The lady has donated much to the upkeep of the town. She supports the mayor and vice versa. It has been a fruitful relationship. I can't see her associating with the likes of Lord Earl more than she would have to. The man has a reputation, you see.
I don't doubt it. Is there somewhere private we could speak for a moment? Somewhere away from prying ears.
I'm going to have him roll insight to see if he...
I lost you for a second.
Oh, I was saying I'm going to have him roll insight to see if he understands what you're getting at. And he does for once. So he kind of he hears what you're saying and he says, "Come with me. And he takes you, down one hallway and down another, and Rhea follows along. And pretty soon you are in, a pretty small, pretty Spartan office. And he closes the door behind you as you enter and locks it and says, no one will hear us in this room. What did you and your little friend wish to share away from prying ears?
We have reason to believe that Lady Razan may be running some sort of underground drug operation in your city.
Are you saying that you believe the upstanding Lady Razan is buying or selling unapproved substances here in the city?
I am.
Ah. And what evidence do you have of this wrongdoing? It is easy to make claims and much harder to back them up.
Well, we did before the, as you know, we saw the lady and the Earl speaking yesterday before the incident.
Yes, but that is hardly evidence of conspiracy, regardless of what has come to light about the Lord Earl's character since then. But yes, you were saying, my apologies.
Rhea, do you have that bag that you showed us the other night still?
Bag of what? What are you talking about?
The bag of that substance that you had?
Oh, yeah, the bag that I found floating down river. I'm gonna roll a deception check for her real quick. Let's see. That is not actually something she's trained in. Wonderful.
No expertise in deception? What are you doing?
He doesn't notice. It's fine. And she pulls out the small bag pouch of green, pungent green herbs and hands it over. And Gareth, the guard captain, kind of reaches over with his large clawed paw and lifts it up, and with two claws, just kind of like pulls it open, and you can see his little Leonin snoot, his little nose go. Oh. Well, I haven't smelled that before, but it definitely smells like something that you shouldn't put in your body. And he kind of like pulls it shut real quick and tosses it over to the side of the room. Well, you said you found that floating down river?
Yes.
Last night? Yeah.
Yes, we found it the other night.
The other night, or last night, or
last night after the explosion.
Okay. I see.
Man, it's really easy to lie to this guy.
He is a dense motherfucker.
Yes, but he fought off the gigantic orc. So, I mean, huge. Large is large.
Dense is dense.
Yeah, he's
He slice it.
He's not wise. Be not wise, you are. So yes, he nods thoughtfully, appears to completely buy it. So if you found this floating down river after the explosion, it is possible, and it makes sense based on what we found in the Lord Earl's residence, that he perhaps was running some sort of narcotic smuggling and sales ring. But I still don't see any evidence that the Lady Razan could be involved, other than merely speaking with this slimy, perfidious fellow. I struggle to see what evidence you might have.
Well, an informant in what's the word? In cahoots, let's say. An informant
Yes.
on the inside of this operation. We spoke with them the other night and confirmed that the lady had been ordering through the Earl for these substances.
Do you have a way that I can speak with this informant?
I'm afraid not. I fear he and I both fear that if he were to be exposed, even even if we were to say here in passing, that his life would be in great danger, and I would have to agree.
Please roll deception.
Say less. All right.
Because he is dead. So his life is not
Nat
very...
20.
You're good. Okay. Not a nat 20 with a -2. You're good. So, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now please roll persuasion. With advantage, because all of your lies have gone through and are somewhat weighty.
Come
All right.
on.
An 11. He
Oh,
says,
dang.
yeah. Unfortunately, although you make some very good points, I don't believe that we will be able to investigate the Lady Razan simply on that basis. However, I will take all your words to heart, and as we pour through Lord Earl's possessions, I will look for anything that could point to potential collusion with other parties involved. And I will ask some questions of the right people. I thank you for your assistance this day. It's, since you have come to this town, I've seen quite of an ugly side out of it, to be honest, and I would like to know why. And he kind of looks at you with a questioning, oddly insightful look, despite his poor insight.
What was the question? I lost you halfway through that.
Oh no, it's fine. So he was saying that the Lady Razan has been showing a little bit of an ugly side since the guard captain realizes that you came to town, and so he was asking why that might be.
Oh. Me and her do have a history together, but as for this ugly side, I assure you, you'll see more of it in the next few days, whether it be provoked or otherwise. I And with that, I will step back towards the door. Just just take my words to heart. That's all I ask of you, dear Captain.
I appreciate what you have come to tell me, but if you are going to cause trouble in my city, the next time we meet won't be on as such friendly terms.
Cause
I
trouble.
appreciate what you've done, but please take my words to heart now.
Cause trouble. Of course not. Actually, we're closing in slowly but surely on the unsolved murders in the town, in the city.
His demeanor changes instantly. Oh, are you then? Well, what have you found? Talk of the noble landed residents of the city is one thing, but
Well,
who is it? Who has been causing these murders?
well, we don't have any names yet, but we know that it's not just one. We believe that there may be a group of individuals working this case.
Do you mean the stalkers in the night?
Possibly, but it points more towards some of the more wealthy residents as well. Not that either one is excluded from this.
You seem to have a dim view of the wealthier folk of the city.
Well, I personally am not a fan of the more wealthy individuals, but I don't just make accusations without good reason. And my own biases be damned in that regard. Oh my god, that was so loud. Holy shit.
Did you have like a feedback screech?
No, I got a notification from an app and it just screeched in my ear.
Beep.
Oh my god.
Leon, while I kind of got you, I asked everyone else, you're okay with Yoga taking this ring of mind attunement? I think no one else.
Mind
Didn't mind.
shielding?
I
Yeah.
didn't have an issue with it. It's fine.
All right.
Be
So
fine.
that will be what I'm also doing. I'll attune to that. That's all
Okay.
I need to say.
Are you going to attune to it and put it on, or just attune to it?
Attune to it and put it on, but Kleeck wanted to go because it's kind of getting late for him.
Okay, yeah, all right. Then, Kleeck, let us jump to you. What would you like to do in this time?
Firstly, find a Bowyers.
Perception check to find it real quick, please.
Yes. Doo-doo-doo. Ooh.
Yeah, with that and your starting point being in more of the town area, let's see. You actually don't find one on the western side of the river. You do find one on the eastern side of the river in the Imperial Quarter.
Okay.
There are a few humans behind the counter and a couple, working on putting together some bows as you come in.
Mm-hmm. I want to buy my own set of tools.
Okay.
And that is what I'm going to ask for. A set of tools.
Of wood carving tools?
Yes.
How much do those cost?
Let me look.
I mean, I guess that's a question you ask me. I should. 5e cost.
5e cost is 1 gold.
Yeah. Easy. 1
All
gold.
right. Well, then I will definitely buy that. That's easy.
You have a set of woodcarver's tools.
Yes, I do. Let me add that to my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And next, I am...
Are you purchasing supplies to in crafting?
Indeed.
Very well. How much would you like to spend on materials?
100 gold.
100 gold on materials. How much does a longbow cost?
50. And
Okay,
the crafting cost is usually 25, so I'm putting in 4 times as much.
Yep.
I'm looking to put in 4 days on this. Of work.
Yeah. So you will put in...
I am investing 100 gold in materials.
Very good. So you will spend 100 gold on the materials to craft an exquisite bow. Because you're spending more money on the materials to craft it, it is going to be, of higher quality, quote unquote. It won't add any necessarily mechanical benefits.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
I'll get it enchanted.
But as we discussed, items that are finely crafted or have some other powerful resonance are easier to enchant and hold enchantments. So the fact that you're spending more money on it means that it'll be easier to enchant in the way that I'm going to do this. So, it's fine.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking for the paints. I want the inlays. I want the good wood. I want the sturdiest string.
Yep. So you're gonna get all the materials to craft exactly that. And it's not too hard to find them because.
Wait, what's the price of a bundle of arrows? I'm also gonna make a bundle of arrows. I'm gonna make a nice bundle of arrows.
Isn't a bundle of arrows like 1 gold?
It's. I think it's like. Let me look.
I'm pretty sure it's way cheaper than that. To be,
it's like
honest.
20 gold for something. It's 20 arrows for 1 gold. Yeah.
20 arrows for 1 gold. So if you want to make it, it'll be 5 silver for materials.
I'm gonna invest a gold because I want to
make 40 arrows.
No, I just want to make good arrows. I want
Okay,
them to be like particularly fancy.
Okay,
'cause
yeah, no,
I
you get
like that.
you get even higher quality than normal, like, goose fletching, goose feathers for the fletching, and like, you get some really nice stuff to make out this kit. And all told, it is, you said 2 gold. So yeah, 103 gold for the woodcarver's tools. The 2 gold, 2 of that was for the supplies for the arrows, and then 100 for the longbow. So you will be making a longbow valued at 200 gold, 4 times the normal 50 gold, which will help with the enchantment that I think you inevitably want to do. So yeah, you can easily get those supplies, and you can start working on it too, because at this point, the party is, some are resting. We just had a moment where I know it says there in the sidebar, but I'm going to call it out. Yoga has been checking the items, and now that he knows what the cloak does, has decided to give the cloak of protection to Bron. And the quote here, I'm not sure if he's back from the... Oh yeah, he looks like he's back. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and just do your little roleplay moment? This is some cool stuff here. I like that.
Oh, yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny, but didn't interrupt us.
Oh, you're not interrupting. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
I have time.
So yeah, when Bron's kind of awake, he'll kind of just... He hasn't had much to do. He's got the ring on now, and he just kind of says, so this rapier causes a little bit of lightning effect when you jab someone. This ring is a ring of mind shielding. It'll protect you from divination magic. I've put it on. It's actually, at this point, Bren, has the soul spoke with me yet at all, or I maybe
No.
had it on for about 5 minutes, let's say.
No.
It's also got the soul of Earl trapped in it. That's kind of concerning. Yoga's kind of saying this nonchalantly, and then
Are you wearing it while you say this?
Oh yeah, I'm wearing the ring right now, and I'm attuned to it.
Roll a perception check.
I'm dipping my fries. Hold on. Nice.
You're gonna hear like a low growl, like at the edges of thought, as you mention the name. Like,
oh, and this cloak, you should have, friend. I've died once, but you've died twice. This cloak will protect you. It's got a magical defense about it. Kind of strange. I think it's imbued with abjuration. Despite the material, you should feel just slightly more protected.
it's like a deep indigo-ish blue cloak with like the embroidery on it is in sort of like this metallic-y gold thread, and it has like this elven sort of styling and script along the hem, and it's of a very nice make. It is just like the Lord Earl said, it is soft as silk. But as you have in the past, when you were pulling and tugging on it and kind of feeling the fabric, it does have a strange hardness to it, almost as if you feel like if you tried to cut it with a knife or stab it with a knife, they would turn the knife. So there's a power in this cloak, and yeah, it's a cloak of protection, obviously, but that's how I'm gonna fluff it.
Yeah, I'll like take it, feel it with my fingers, rub it with my thumb across my index finger, looking
Very soft,
around
very
it.
smooth, very hard.
Thank you. You see, he like takes a little moment, my friend.
Yoga will kind of curl his smile a bit. I was like, "Oh, it's no issue."
Just goes back to feeling and pondering this cloak.
Absolutely. Leon. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want to roleplay this at all, but could I just quickly, when I went out, could I haven't bought material components for one spell. It's like, I just need diamond powder. Can I say I went and bought that? I don't want to roleplay.
Wait. I know what diamond powder is for. What are you planning?
It's non-detection, actually.
Yes, you can buy diamond powder.
Okay. I'm
You
buying
only
50 gold's worth, so I can cast non-detection twice.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So yeah,
I
just
thought you were gonna. I thought you were doing glyph of warning, and I was scared.
yeah, just put 50 GP of diamond powder in your inventory. That's how much you have. You go to the one of the jewelers in town and ask them for that. And at first, the person behind the counter is aghast until they take more of a look at you and realize that you're like a magic turtle, and it's for spell components. It only takes them a moment and their manager coming and admonishing them to figure that out. And then they're able to go back and find some of the more industrial diamonds and grind them up for you and hand them over to you for that cost. So yeah, you get your diamonds.
Yeah, because I prepared it today, because I was like, maybe we might need to be stealthy, and I was like, I can't even cast it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Yoga, you're able to get that diamond powder easily.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed.
Sure. Jumping back over to Leon and Rhea, though, to the guard captain about before he, has to head off to do his things.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. What did we end on? I'm at a loss.
Oh, sorry. I think we ended with him saying that he would follow up on leads that you gave him, but he was warning you not to cause trouble in the city. And then you said, "Of course not. We've almost figured out who the murderer is, like who's causing the murders." And then he suddenly got very excited and was asking you about that.
Oh, yeah. But yes, we believe it's not just one party.
Yes, you had said you think it has something to do with the lords and ladies of the city, not the landless at all, which I can't understand why they would even care.
We're not entirely sure ourselves, but you will be the first to know when we do find the answers to this.
I appreciate that, and I should hope so. It is my job to keep the peace in this city, much as everyone seems to want to bring it some chaos these days.
I don't envy you.
He's learning.
He makes a big he flashes a big fanged grin and is like, but so many do. And kind of like laughs a little bit and Rhea. But if you'll excuse me, I must be going now. The Lord Earl's residence won't turn itself out, much as my men are there doing that now. And there is still the bodies we need to recover from the river. And eventually we will have to get someone across the river to speak with the Father Bunshuit about what he found from the corpses there. I will get to the bottom of this, and if you should happen back perhaps later tonight, we can have a discussion about what I have found.
Of course. I'd see no issue with that. And at this point, I'll step back towards the door and open it for Rhea.
She'll nod to you and step through ahead of you.
I'll look back at the captain and I'll shake my head at him, and I'll be on my way.
Yep, he'll nod to you as you close the door and head out of the barrack. Anything else, or are you just going to head back to the boat?
I promised Rhea that I'd help her look around at least a little bit for Lucy.
All right. Then on that note, we actually probably can call it there because Lucy's not going to be there
That's correct.
tonight.
I have a tiny bit more with.
Oh, sure, of course.
Getting back to the ship and stuff.
Absolutely. We will do Kleeck's thing, and then we will wrap.
With a large bundle of materials, he is going to be fluttering down onto the deck and requisitioning a room. Not saying anything to anyone, just kind of walking in with big bundle of stuff, which the last time he brought a bunch of stuff home, that didn't go too well. But he's setting up his stuff here and getting to work. And that's really all I had.
Nice.
It was just a matter of like we left off with him still like just buying the stuff, and I wanted to make sure it was established what he was doing. He is getting started on that.
Whooshy whoosh.
Cool.
All right, sorry. Yeah, so Brightleaf, did you get this done in the first 4 hours? Sorry,
Nope, you cut
I
out.
would. Oh, sorry. Am I here?
Yep.
It's every now and again. It's a hard loss.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's because I'm doing something to my mic. In any case, so Kleeck, you went on these rounds to purchase these items. You probably could have purchased most, if not all of them, in the same location. Probably wouldn't have taken too long, but I'm guessing as you came in, you know, you're at this point, Yoga's probably running his errand, and he's either buying diamond powder, or he's at the Ugturk lands, or walking through town somewhere therein. Leon and Rhea are gone. They're off doing errands as well. Lucy's gone. So as you return, the only people who are going to be on the boat are Bron and Brightleaf. Bron is below resting, and Brightleaf is on the bow meditating. So she will probably see you come fluttering in, holding a bundle of supplies, but won't move or do anything. Will just, to herself, be idly thinking, looks like he's doing something. So, yeah.
Kleeck won't be bothering anyone. He's a bird on a mission.
In like the meeting room. I would call that the map room. Like,
meanwhile, we always meet down here.
You meet in the kitchen room,
deck.
like the food common room area of the boat.
Yeah.
And
so I'm just taking over the quote unquote meeting room.
Yeah.
Now it's the bird workstation, and nobody is allowed in.
Bird shop.
Since we did get like 2 of those items distributed, I'll just ask real quick before we officially end it. Does anyone care about the rapier? I don't think Yoga and Bron cared.
So let me put it like this. There are 3 characters in the party that already use rapier. They are Brightleaf, Lucy, and Kleeck. Kleeck is ranged oriented.
He said this
could
in
use it.
Discord.
Oh, okay.
I said something along this lines. Kleeck is ranged oriented. Brightleaf is close quarters shooter, just uses her bow in close quarters anyway.
Yeah.
Rhea could use it, or Lucy could use it. I believe Lucy uses a.
Lucy does in fact use a rapier.
I guess we could save that because
I think Lucy would probably really like it.
I think it would also be something to keep for and offer to Lucy. It's something Rhea could use. It's something Brightleaf could use.
I was about to say I was going to offer it to like Rhea, but I give player agency before giving it to an NPC.
That's right. That's where I was too. I didn't want either of those 2 characters to claim it if a player wanted it. You can give your cast-off hand-me-downs to the NPCs if you really want them to have it, or, you know, like the Gloves of Thievery. Well, no one else is going to do stealing, and Rhea's spec'd for it, and you're bringing her with anyways. That makes sense, but, you know, for the magic sword, I don't want to give the magic sword to a character that's not a player, unless you really, really want them to have it. So
that's those things. Players get it first.
Exactly. So I think that Riley as a player and Lucy as a character would both want that weapon. It's fit for a noble. Like, it is nice, you know. And also, what are you guys gonna do with the breastplate?
Oh shit!
You got this nice ass breastplate.
Was it magic? Because I probably would have identified. Okay.
It was just very nice, very
finely made.
I mean, if no one, all this is. I'm taking this more as like bronzelet, so it's kind of up to him. I assumed if no one wanted it, that we'd sell it.
It's in bronze inventory.
I've already got a breastplate.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody else wants a breastplate, which works really, really well with decks,
I've got a shell.
Yep, turtles can't wear armor. So let's see. Kleeck can't fly with anything but light armor. Rhea is a rogue and won't be using medium. I think Brightleaf can use medium as a ranger, but her dex is such that it would actually be a downgrade by 1 to do that. Leon is a spellcaster. Could probably only do light, if anything. The only person I could see The only person I could see using it maybe at this time, because like you said, Bron, you already have one, would be Lucy, and I think she might actually have one too. I think
does have-
everyone who has a
We're gonna
breastplate plate might
shower
already have
Lucy
one.
with gifts when she gets back. Like, we've missed you.
Oh,
We
you
used
have
to.
no idea. You have no idea.
You're all treating the noble as befitting of their.
Actually, I think
Fine,
I
that's
do have
wonderful.
ID because I think you spoiled it last time, Kleeck, but I'll keep shush.
I mentioned something.
It's fine. So yeah,
if nothing else, if nobody takes the breastplate, it's very finely made. We could sell it for a good price. I have a lot of jewelry that I need to sell as well.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
The breastplate with the gold filigree is worth 3 times as much as a normal breastplate, so it's worth 1,200. 1,200 gold. So you can sell it for quite a bit.
Yeah, but now that I'm excited for next session, we'll have both, hopefully, Lucy, and now that Bron's character is properly rested, and we can actually get them in the conversation.
Yeah, no, that should be a good idea. And here's the I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now because we are going to wrap.